I gave ChatGPT total control over an NHL franchise and 10 seasons to win a Stanley Cup in NHL 26, and they've still yet to complete the task. They made some big trades, even bigger free agent signings. Brady Tkachuk, welcome to Detroit, but ultimately we kept falling short of that end goal. And Washington's going to eliminate us in 5 games, Game 7 overtime, where Austin Matthews ends the season and we lose again. This video will be covering seasons 6 through 10 of this challenge, where the core is really starting to age. We've got some major expiring contracts to deal with and not much cap space to do so. Because if we fail to become champions and don't meet this goal, well, I don't think I have to tell you what that means for our friend. One thing is for sure, there is no episode 3. No more patience, no more development years. This is cup or bust. We are back in this Detroit Red Wings franchise simulation, year 6 of 10. In case you guys forgot, this is what the lineup looks like after our big offseason. Took a big swing on Uri Slavkovsky. He's up to a 90 overall. Need to count on that top line producing big time this season. Tkachuk, Misa, Velarde on the second line. Velarde's in the last year of his contract. Does not want to negotiate right now. He also really hasn't been that productive for us. Jackson Jacobson at 21 years old gets his first shot in the NHL finally. We drafted him in 2027, 7th overall. Puck skills are fantastic. He's got a lot of work to do in every other category though. Dylan Larkin down to an 85 overall, also in the last year of his contract. Also not willing to negotiate currently. We got Branson Nygaard signed to a 3-year, $2.75 million cap hit. He's been a great piece for us on that third line. Finally, we come down to Hermanson, Danielson, and Tom Wilson down to a 79 overall on the fourth line. Again, last year of a contract that pays him $7.1 million. So that'll be some much needed cap flexibility for us. On defense, it's the usual mercenaries up front there in Edvinsson and Seider. Edvinsson up to a 91 overall, Seider at a 93. Seider is, however, in the last year of his contract. Right now, he is open to a negotiation, but looking for around $14.5 million per season. Faravari and Liljegren, who we just signed on the second pair. Barons is another depth defenseman that we just signed. He's going to be on that third pair, where he'll be paired with Jeremy Lauzon. Again, another pending UFA on this team. A lot of decisions to make, and this may be the team with the best chance to get it done this season. Casa stays at a 90 overall in net for us. We've got our franchise goaltender locked up for the rest of this challenge. Michael Prattle as the backup, up to an 81 overall, 23 years old. Starter, medium potential, but he will be looking for a raise after this season, no question. Now, if you guys missed how we got to this point, episode 1 will be linked in the description down below. Feel free to pause the video, check it out, and then come back to it because we're about to progress. Before we start season 6 here, obviously we've got to check in with the man at the helm. So let's throw to a Robo GM press conference.
Let's not overcomplicate this. Rebuild's over. Excuses are over. Patience is over. Seider, Edvinsson, Raymond, Casa, Tkachuk, this core is in its prime. That window doesn't stay open forever. Last year proved we're good. Good doesn't win cups. We have 5 years left in this challenge. Every move from here on out is about one thing: increasing our championship odds. Season 6 isn't about progress. It's about finishing.
After checking back in, we're told that we can begin simulation in year 6 all the way up to American Thanksgiving. So while we let the simulation do its thing, I'm going to ask you guys to make a prediction right now. Do we get this done in these next 5 seasons or no? And if you've got any suggestions for video ideas you'd like to see in the future, or how we can improve this kind of format, please let me know. And while you guys are down there, you might as well hit the like button at the same time. Lets me know the kind of content you guys prefer and which you don't. And to put a bow on it, please consider hitting that subscribe button if you enjoy it. 89% of you who watched episode 1 not subscribed. Great to see a lot of new viewers, but I'd love to convert you into subscribers. At American Thanksgiving, and things are not looking great for us already in season 6. Second last in the Atlantic currently, just 19 points through 22 games. Only 2 points ahead of Ottawa, but with 5 games in hand. Brady Tkachuk off to a great start for us. 10 goals, 23 points through 22 games. Edvinsson is just a point-producing machine in this simulation. He's up to 19 through 22 games. After calling out Velarde, he's having a bit of a resurgence here in his contract year, of course. Is off to a solid start as our second line center, but the minus ratings, my goodness, Uri Slavkovsky, what an awful start. 8 points in 22 games, and the rest of the lineup is not faring much better. It's looking pretty grim so far, to be honest. In net, Sebastian Koss is having a tough go of it. 6, 9, and 2 through 18 games. 1 shutout, a 3.29 goals against, and an 899 save percentage. And like always, we provide the screenshots showing our progress or lack thereof at this point. We're told the defense is bleeding. I let him know know that Carter Bear was scratched. He kind of gave me nothing as a response there. But for the first time, Robo GM is going to step in and influence coaching decisions here. We're going to put Slavkovsky with Kachuk, Raymond with Misa on the second line, pair Sider with our most stable partner, so that might have to be Farivari. And we're going to simulate until New Year's Day and see what happens then. So we move Kachuk up to the top line with Slavkovsky there. Raymond obviously goes down to the second. And on defense, we bump Farivari up to the top pair. Edvinsson unfortunately slides down to play with Liljegren on that second. Everything else stays the same, and now we move on. And we've course corrected ever so slightly here on New Year's Day. Season 6, we sit at 16, 15, and 5, up to 5th in the division and just shy of a wild card spot currently. Brady Kachuk's just been so solid for this team this year. 20 goals, 39 points. Even with Edvinsson's demotion to the second pair, he's still putting up numbers. I hate these minus ratings though. Lawrence, Raymond, and Slavkovsky all dash way too high. Poor Danielson buried on our 4th line there. 15 points plus 2, making 4.25. Started to see a little bit more depth scoring from some of these guys. Sider disappointing offensively so far, and in net costs has picked it up slightly. 14, 13, and 4, a shutout 903, and 308 goals against. It's still not great. And time for a check-in here where we're told that bubble hockey is unacceptable. Year 6, this has got to be a go for it year, especially with all these expiring contracts. Positives are Kachuk, Edvinsson, Casa somehow, and the offense as a whole at 3.17 goals for per game. The issue, plain and simple, is defense. Too many minus players in key roles, I've said it. Slavkovsky and Raymond bleeding goals against. Lawrence as well. He's still not ready to make a move just yet this season, so we will head to trade deadline eve, and if we're top 3 in the division, we're going to look at acquiring a legit shutdown top 4 defenseman. If we're a wild card team, maybe a defensive middle 6 winger who can close games, and heaven forbid if we're outside of a playoff spot or flatlining, we're going to make a hockey trade, not futures, reallocate our money and identity. Team picked it up a little bit here at trade deadline eve. Through 64 games, we sit at 69 points. That's nice. 31, 26, and 7. We've stopped the bleeding defensively a little bit. At least we have a positive goal differential now. Brady Kachuk's point production has slowed down a little bit, but he's still absolutely carrying this team. Slavkovsky definitely disappointing points-wise so far. A bunch of our guys who got off the hotter starts like Velarde is definitely slowing down. Misa, not a great year on that second line for us. Outside of that, we are getting contributions from around the lineup. Lozon with 139 penalty minutes. He loves taking penalties. Casa really stabilized himself here. 5 shutouts in that run from New Year's Day to the trade deadline eve. He's up to 6 on the season now. Brought that goals against down to 2.79. Save percentage up to 910. We're told the path forward is to add 1 legitimate top 6 winger at the deadline. Minor depth defenseman if cheap. Outside of that, we just let it ride. So the mold of the player that he's looking for is a top 6 right shot winger who drives possession, doesn't need sheltered minutes, ideally has more than 1 year left. We can move Danielson, a mid-tier prospect, and a 2nd plus 3rd package. He's told me to find what's available on the trade block, so let's go ahead and do that quickly. Pavel Dorofeyev, really the only guy who fits the bill. I know he's not a right-handed shot, but we'll have to make do. 86 overall, can play both sides. Not necessarily the greatest season this year. He's got this year and next left on that contract at 5.58 per. He is on Vegas's trade block, so we're going to try and send Danielson and Carter Bear to Vegas in exchange for Dorofeyev and a 4th round pick in 2031. Trade goes through, we got our guy. We tell him that Dorofeyev was the only guy that kind of fit that bill of what he was looking for. His response, oh, we cooked a little here. He likes adding a proven top 6 finisher. He's fine with giving up both Danielson, who was a good 2-way 4th line center for us, and Carter Bear, who was scratched all season anyways. We're going to try Kachuk, Lawrence, and Raymond back on that top line. Slavkovsky, one of Larkin or Misa, and Dorofeyev. Whoever's got the best chemistry, I guess, can go in the middle there. We're told no more major trades, though, unless a cheap depth right defenseman or defensive 3C appears. There's really only one player that fit the bill for a cheap 3rd or 4th line center out there, and it's not John Tavares, it's Jack McBain. 31 years old, big grinding center, good for the playoffs. Still got next year under contract at 2.1 as well, and when we asked the Leafs to find a trade, this is what came back. McBain for Cam Zigomanis, 20-year-old, 57 overall, elite medium potential goalie. We ask him if he's willing to make that trade. He says, yes, let's do it. It's worth the risk on a 57 overall elite medium potential goalie, especially given our circumstances right now. He says, important condition, if this goalie is 6'6" plus. He is not. Franchise potential hidden, nope. Or already growing fast, I'd say no at 57 overall at 20 years old. So yes, we're gonna go ahead and accept that trade. I tell him before we advance past the trade deadline, if he does want to revisit defensemen, this is who's available right now. Tampa has both Chernak and Moser on the trade block. LA had Mikey Anderson and Kevin Ball. And if we're truly interested in more of a depth option, there was both Kesselring and Benoit in Seattle right now. He wants to check on both the Anderson and Moser asking price. Anderson would cost us Brand Signal Nygaard and 2 third-round picks, or Hermanson and a second and third, and JJ Moser would cost us a first, Genborg, and Smolinski. He did mention no first-round picks were to be given up, so JJ Moser becomes a hard no. We bring back both options, telling him that JJ Moser was a first-round pick, so hard stop, and then present him with both the trade offers that we have for Mikey Anderson. Ask if he'd like to accept either one or move on at this point. Ultimately, we're told we're going to send Brandsegg Nygaard off with 2 third-round picks for Mikey Anderson. We go ahead and accept that in-game, and after the trade deadline, this is what we're left with. Kachuk, Lawrence, Raymond stays the same on the top line. Slavkovsky, Misa, now add Dorofeyev to that line. Jacobson, Larkin, and Velarde on that third line. I do really like that third line, actually. And finally, Hermanson, McBain, and Tom Wilson on the fourth. Wilson down to a 78. We need the playoffs to come immediately. On defense, Mikey Anderson pairs up with Mo Seider. Edvinsson remains on that second pair, but this time Ferivari goes down to play with him. And it is going to be Jeremy Lauzon drawing in instead of Barons on that third pair. He'll play with Liljegren. Same tandem in net, and now we advance to the end of the regular season. Season 6 regular season in the books. We do manage to secure that third spot in the Atlantic. 91 points, 42, 33, and 7. Still a middling playoff team today, though. We finished 12th overall in the NHL. Dallas Stars going to be the President's Trophy winners here in Season 6, 115 points. And the last place honors belong to the Winnipeg Jets with 62. We had Brady Tkachuk put up 72 points, 40 goals for us. A great season there on the top line. Lawrence, first season asked to play that first line center role. He did okay with 63 points. He definitely helped get that minus rating down towards the end of the season. Edvinsson, solid as always, 58 points from the back end there, playing mostly second pairing minutes too. Dorofeyev came over. What did he do for us? 14 points in 18 games. That's not bad. Misa and Slavkovsky certainly better finishes than they started this season. Raymond, an incredibly disappointing 46 points. That third line of Velarde, Larkin, and Jacobson, they were clicking towards the end of the season as well. Seider in the last year of his contract puts up 41 points. Hopefully that brings the number down a bit. And after the trade, Mikey Anderson, how'd you fit in? 9 points plus 10 in 18 games. That's great. Last year, we check on Jack McBain and how he produced. 3 points in 18 games, -1 rating. We're not getting him for his offense. And in net, Sebastian Cossa went 36, 26, and 6. 6 shutouts with a 286, 907. Rattle, 6, 7, and 1. 288 goals against, 910 save percentage. So very average goaltending this season. And then around the league, Austin Matthews is the Art Ross winner with 101 points. He's also going to take the Rocket with 46 goals. Werenski just barely leads all defensemen. He has 89 points. Michael Hrabal in Utah. 87 overall starter, 6'6", 26 years old. 46, 22, and 0. 922, 248. And how about Ravensberger in here? 43, 18, 7, 10 shutouts. 920 and a 244. They were all, a lot of high save percentages in the league this year. For rookie skaters, Oliver Thomastik on Winnipeg leads all rookies with 51 points. I'm sure he got enough ice time on the last place team in the league. And that was Ravensberger's rookie season that he just put up those 10 shutouts. What a year. After providing these screenshots at end of regular season, we're told this is exactly the team we built. Dangerous offensively, but extremely volatile defensively. The good Brady Tkachuk, Trevor Lawrence. Tynan Lawrence, but Trevor Lawrence, sure. Edvinsson, Dorofeyev trade, Misa, and Cossa in net. The concern, obviously, the defensive play. Slavkovsky's -12. His 50 points, he says, were solid. I'm at a 90 overall, not really. And then our depth consistency. We're a heavy physical team, slightly chaotic defensively, if that's not just the perfect description. So we're going to find out who we're playing and then have them adjust the lineups and matchups accordingly. And in the first round, we draw the Boston Bruins. We'll go ahead and take a look at their lines real quick. Pugh, Hagens, and Pasternak on the top line. That is gross. Huberdeau down to a 78 on the second line along with Schwartz and Patras. Minton, Letourneau, and Lekermaki on the third line. Malhotra, Pelosi, and Brindley. Pelosi's the guy that they wanted us to draft, I think, in the first year. On defense, they got Ferraro and Carrier, McMillan, and is that Seth Jones? Yeah, it is. Sandberg and Pipparainen on the third pair. And of course, in net, it's going to be Swayman. We tell him our first round opponent, and this is what he has to say. The only line that's going to consistently scare him is that top line. He's even throwing shade. Second line is good, but not terrifying. Huberdeau, 78. Decline is real. On defense, they don't have a true game-breaking defender, and it's going to be tough to beat Swayman in net for sure. I wish we could adjust the matchups in this game. What we can do, however, is change how he wants the power play setup, so we will do that. His prediction, if Cossa plays above a 910 save percentage, is we're taking it in 6 games. If he dips below 900, it goes 7 and becomes chaos. I don't know if it goes 7 if he's under a 900 save percentage. And we arrive at the playoffs once again. Every year we get just a little more desperate with that window closing. Game 1, round 1 against the Bruins. Let's see it. Down 1-0 after 1. Malhotra the lone goal. Oh boy. Down 3-1 after 2. Lawrence the lone goal for us. Hagens and Malhotra adds another one. We drop game 1, 5-2. This is just all too familiar a scene for us here. Round 1, game 2. Can we get an answer here? Up 2-0 after 1. Goals from Lawrence and Raymond. And of course, we just blow it. 3-3 after 2. And not even close. 6-3. We drop this one. I can't believe this is going to be another sweep, isn't it? Here we go. Game 3. Down 1-0 after 1. It's the very guy you talk shit about there, Robo GM. Jonathan Huberdeau. Tie it at 2 after 2. Jack McBain with 2 goals for us. Dylan Larkin gets the game winner in the third. We do manage to take 1 from Boston here. 2-1 Boston series lead. And we move to game 4. Up 2-0 after 1. Goals from Hermanson and Kachuk. 3-0 after 2. Larkin adds another one. Just please no collapse here. We do hang on for the 4-1 win, evening the series up at 2. And we would love a little 3-game streak here in the playoffs. Let's go game 5. Up 1-0 after 1. Jack McBain. Boston ties it. It's Pasta. Pasta completes the hat trick in the third period, and we drop game 5, and we're on the brink of elimination at this point. Game 6. Come on, boys. Please, not again. Down 1-0 after 1. It's tied at 2 after 2, and we've got a massive third period on our hands here. It is tied at 3 after regulation. We're going to overtime again. Let's just go through this and see what happens. Approaching 5 minutes into OT. Nothing as of yet. We got a power play. Come on, we got to convert here. Of course we don't. 10 minutes left in OT. What's going to happen here? 5 minutes left in the first overtime. Are we going to a second overtime? We are indeed heading to overtime number 2 here in game 6, where Boston scores immediately and eliminates us. Awesome. And there's your reason right there. David Pastrnak with 7 goals and 3 assists in that 6-game series against us. Just a one-man wrecking crew. We also just couldn't beat Swayman. 253 goals against, 923 save percentage. For us here, Lucas Raymond was fantastic. 8 points through 6 playoff games. Kachuk had the 3 goals, just the 4 points though. Dylan Larkin really costing us a -5 rating in those 6 games. Slavkovsky, 1 goal through 6 games, -3 rating. This is a guy we picked up specifically because of his playoff stats. 30 points in his last 32 playoff games coming into this season with us. And he just lays an egg, of course. It just doesn't get better the more you scroll. Velarde, Anderson, Dorofeyev, Misa, Jacobson, all with 1 point. The problem, and it's not subtle, he says, was David Pastrnak scoring 7 goals in 6 games, 10 points. That's not he got hot. Well, it's a little bit of that. That's we let the best shooter in the series tee off uncontested. It's definitely some of that too. What worked? Raymond, Lawrence, Kachuk, McBain even. He says Casa wasn't awful, but he certainly wasn't great either. Our second line was just terrible. Misa, Slavkovsky, and Dorofeyev all with a point each on that second line. Special teams were brutal, and this is why here we are again. Now let's find out where it leaves us. We have 4 years left in this challenge. No panic rebuild, no tearing it down. But it's okay, guys, because this offseason is going to be different. It's about a legitimate playoff shutdown pairing. On paper, we should have that already. A true 2C that drives play in the postseason, and possibly even evaluating if our coach is maximizing the use of this roster. The Canucks go on to defeat the Islanders in 6 games to capture the cup here in season number 6. Pedersen and Buyem tie for the playoff lead in scoring, 21 points apiece. Buyem up to a 92 overall. Demko was spectacular for them, 925 save percentage, 2 shutouts en route to the cup. As far as the individual hardware goes, we know Matthews took the Rocket and the Art Ross. He also gets the Hart Trophy. Cale Makar takes the Norris. Matthews grabs the Lady Byng as well. Ravensbergen, of course, he gets the Calder. Of course he does. What a season for the kid. Williams, the Conn Smythe winner. Vezina goes to Demko. Also going to take the Jennings. Finally, Ryan Graves does not take the Masterton Trophy. Goes to Kuznetsov. Patrick Waugh, the Jack Adams winner. Selke goes to Bo Elliott of the Mammoth. And Matthews is also going to take the Ted Lindsay. Results of the draft lottery are in. St. Louis jumps from 8-1. Calgary goes from 5-2. Winnipeg drops from 1-3. Buffalo from 2-4. And New Jersey from 3-5. John Tavares playing in Pittsburgh headlines the retirement class this season. 1,677 games, 1,473 points. And Bobrovsky finally calling it quits. 1,040 games, 573 wins. And we end up with picks 20 and 22 in the entry draft. We're going to ask to see what he wants to do with these picks. Our scouts don't have a ton of information on some of the guys available around this spot, but we'll still send it over. He tells us that picks 20 and 22 are trade up or trade out packages. Ideally, we're going to target a top 4 shutdown round defenseman, age 26 to 30, defensive or two-way defenseman, 85 plus overall, 2 to 4 years of term on the contract, or a legitimate playoff 2C. Strong defensive awareness, good face-off, drives play. He has defenseman listed there first, so let's go see what's available. No franchise players going this year in the draft. Len Farelli, the first pick to St. Louis, and we may be able to two birds, one stone with both these picks here, because for the 20th overall pick, we're going to try and acquire Dmitry Simashev, 26 years old, 85 overall, top 4 high, 6'5", 220, mean son of a bitch defensive defenseman, 5 stars on the physical category. Not going to put up much offense, but we need a matchup guy here. Got to get rid of Wilson's salary to see if this goes through. Trade indeed does go through. We've got a surplus of late picks, so we're going to send the 22nd overall pick out along with 2 fourths to Nashville in exchange for Brady Martin, 85 overall, top 6 high potential, 24 years old, power forward but defensively responsible. He's also got 2 years left at just under $1.5 million, so great value there. Trade goes through for us. Perfect. As always, everything past the first round, we're going to let our scouts handle and see how they do. We let him know about both trades, and to the first one, he says you basically turned pick 20 plus an expiring Tom Wilson into a 26-year-old, 85 overall, top 4 high D potential, 6'5", Russian freight train on a $5.24 million contract for 3 years. Calls it contender math. We'll take it. Trade number 2, he says this is the spicy one. We moved a late first and 2 fourths for a 24-year-old power forward, 85 overall, under $1.5 million for 2 years. Good puck skills, great physical stats. Plus, he just put up 16 goals, 14 assists in third line minutes. What this means for the roster, we got younger and harder to play against. Added controlled contracts. Didn't sacrifice any of our core pieces and addressed 2 of our playoff pain points, physicality and defensive reliability. Now I need to provide RoboGM with the expiring contracts on this team, progress reports, and any other information they need to know heading into the offseason. But before we get the whole organizational offseason audit, we've got some tidying up to do in terms of contracts. I forgot to hit record, so I lost it, but Mo Sider wants about $11.3 million for 7 years per, to which we're told, yes, let's sign it immediately, just get it done. Tynan Lawrence looking for $10.625 over 3 years. He's still an RFA, so we're under no obligation to negotiate right now. We'll leave that one. Mikey Anderson looking for $8 million per over 4 years. He does not want to come back. That's fine. We're going to let him walk to free agency. Dylan Larkin also not looking like he wants to come back. 5.1. Again, we'll let him walk to free agency. It looks like we're also going to lose Gabe Vilardi here. We're not signing him for $7 mil plus. Then we've got Jacobson and Hermanson both as RFAs. Again, we can take our time with those ones. Lazon is interested in coming back. We'll see if he wants to bring him back, but we are taking a major hit depth-wise this offseason. We pass on the news that Lawrence wants $10 million per, but we're going to wait because he's an RFA. Tell him that Mikey Anderson and Dylan Larkin both don't want to be here and are walking to free agency. Same with Gabe Vilardi, to which we've determined this is a clear franchise crossroads that we're at right now. He says it's not a collapse, but it's definitely not nothing. Step 1, we're still going to sign Sider to that extension. Looks like he wants to bring Lazon back here. For Lawrence, with the cap being $122 million, that's 8.2% of our cap. He says that's not outrageous, but he's not really the driving guy currently. Again, we'll take our time with him. We can kind of string him along through free agency. Thank God we made those Simashev and Brady Martin trades in the offseason there. Some good news before we hit free agency. Mo Sider did agree to our contract extension. He's locked up through the rest of this challenge as well now. So I sent screenshots of what all the players we're currently asking for that are pending UFAs. That way they can have a better gauge and see our current cap situation as well. Because we have $20 million left, we are getting tight with it. Still have Hermanson, Jacobson, Lawrence, who's asking for $10 million plus, and depth. We're gonna have to make some hard decisions here. First off, the 2 easy decisions. Mikey Anderson, see ya. Gabe Vilardi, hell no. Dylan Larkin. So much for a franchise crossroads, because it looks like we're looking to bring him back. 2 years, 4.9 per. Jeremy Lazon, he says if he'll take it, that's totally fine as a 670, but only if you've already secured Sider and you don't plan to add a bigger D via trade. We may let Jeremy Lazon walk. What they would do, re-sign Sider. Done. Perfect. Let Anderson walk, let Vilardi walk. We're gonna re-sign Larkin short term, bridge Lawrence, and then cheap depth only after that. Anderson's gone. Same with Vilardi, and same with Lazon. Head into our contract negotiation with Dylan Larkin. We'll try and go 2 years at 4.5 per, get a little bit more of a discount there. It's only a 4-team no trade list, that's fine. Larkin chooses to come back. We don't divorce the captain. All right, we'd love to see that. So again, I just screwed up and completely forgot to hit record. We got the contract with Lawrence done. He signed for 7 years at 9.85 per season. Jacobson came back at 2 years, 1.95 per, and Hermanson signed another 1-year contract, 1.525. RoboGM tells us we have 2 priorities heading into the free agency. First is a bottom pairing right defenseman just for PK defensive specialist. Priority number 2, a fourth line forward. Ideally, this player should be big, 85 plus physical stats, face-off capable if center, 82 to 83 overall, and under 1.5 million. We're allowed to go as high as 2.25 million on defense and 1.5 for forwards, and we'll just roll that extra cap space into the season until the trade deadline. It's a pretty ridiculous free agency class. Obviously, Bo Elliott headlining it, the #1 overall pick from the Utah Mammoth, just coming off a Selke trophy as well. I can't believe they're not signing him at 14-1 for 7 years. Just 21 years old still. The guy who single-handedly crushed our hopes and dreams in the playoffs, David Pasternak's available. It's just a really good free agency class. Unfortunately, we got no money. Someone's gonna luck into grabbing Emil Vinny. He's a UFA at 25 years old, 89 overall. That price tag's very high. When it comes to what we can afford and what we actually need right now, there were 2 options. The first one was Artem Zub. He was asking 1 year at 2.275, and then Sam Malinsky's the other option. 2 years, just under 2.5 million per season. We're gonna go ahead and sign Artem Zub between the 2 choices here. We'd rather that 1 year contract anyways, not getting stuck for 2 years. We'll give him exactly what he's looking for. Hopefully that, yep, it just gets it done. Perfect. 4.6 million in cap space left to sign our fourth line forward here. We had 3 options in terms of forward fits for that fourth line. If you guys will look at Paul Cotter's stats there, definitely fits the bill in the physical category. He's looking for 2 years at 1.9 per. Next option would be a great reunion. Tyler Bertuzzi coming back. Let you guys take a look. Definitely not as strong in the physical category, but a little bit better D awareness. Definitely better puck skills. Skating category is just miserable though. Bert would be looking for 1 year at 1.8. And our last option is Jamie Benn. Still an 81 overall. Some awful skating stats again, but the physical numbers are still there. D awareness still pretty high. He's got 92 faceoffs. Looking for just over 1.1 million for 2 seasons. 41 years old. The crazy part is he just had a 57-point season with Tampa last season. RoboGM says the choice is easy. We're taking Paul Cotter, 2 years at 1.9 per. Let's go ahead and lock that in. No messing around. 2 years, 1.9 per. Let's just get this thing done. There we go. There's our free agency shopping completed just like that. We round out the roster with AHL signings, and now it's time to throw to a RoboGM press conference.
Last season hurt. We had a team good enough to win and we didn't finish the job. That's on me. This offseason was about control. We locked up our core, brought in edge and defensive stability, and built a lineup that's harder to play against in April. There are 4 years left on this mandate. No more growth talk. No more patience. We're here to win a Stanley Cup. Period.
Still much of the same stuff that we've heard over and over again. RoboGM's starting to sound like he'd be the perfect fit for a Leafs GM. We arrive here at training camp in season 7 of 10 in this RoboGM challenge. And I wish I could say there's a newfound sense of optimism for this year, but after what we've seen so far, I just have no expectations. Slavkovsky, Lawrence, Raymond on the top line. Kachuk, Misa, Dorofeyev. We need a massive year out of Michael Misa. Jacobson, Larkin, and Martin. Larkin's getting that center spot because he's just got way better faceoffs. And finally, Cotter, McBain, and Hermanson. On the blue line, we're back to our big dogs. It's Edmondson and Sider. Simishev and Farivari. That is a phenomenal shutdown pair. And a very serviceable third pair of Zub and Liljegren. Of course, our goalies don't change at all. We've got Casa and Prattle in net. Big concern, Larkin already down to an 83 after signing him to a 2-year contract. Hopefully, Jacobson and Martin on that line can help prop up his offense just a little bit at 5-on-5. Season 7 of 10. I'm going to say it every year now. This feels extremely do or die. We have no prospects in the pipeline. Very little cap space to upgrade this team. The only capital we have is draft picks at this point. With that out of the way, we are simulating up to American Thanksgiving and checking in on the team status. We're in a very familiar spot, and that is 4th in the Atlantic at American Thanksgiving. I feel like that's been the case every time we've checked. Currently in a wildcard spot, but we've got a lot of games on other teams here. Raymond leading the way at point per game, 23 and 23. Lawrence has definitely upped his production from his start last year. Brady Kachuk off to a not phenomenal start so far, 8 goals, 7 assists. Same with Dorofeyev. I'd like a little bit more production out of him there. Hermanson on the 4th line has been popping off. Guy's only playing 10-13 per game, but he's got 7 goals, 5 assists through 23 games. Misa still super disappointing. He's really not going to develop for us, is he? That contract is going to be a boat anchor potentially. Paul Cotter, 9 points in 23 games, plus 6 rating. Sider, fresh off the big contract, not great. 9 points in 23 games, -2. Larkin is definitely going to regress a little bit more this season. Brady Martin Martin is off to a historically bad start here. 1 goal and 1 assist through 23 games. Oh, we are just absolutely cooked, aren't we? Goaltending's at least solid. 20 games for Casa, 10-6-4 record, 1 shutout, and a .915 save percentage. We provide the cold hard facts, including current contract landscape going forward, understanding the gravity that we are in season 7 of 10. They seem to really understand the desperation right now. We have 5 pending UFAs, including Lucas Raymond and Brady Tkachuk this offseason. The call is aggressive, it is cutthroat, and I love it. We're going to extend Lucas Raymond, wait till the trade deadline, and shop Brady Tkachuk. We're going to let Dorofeyev and Zub walk unless they're dirt cheap. Re-sign Brady Martin. For some reason, that's a priority. The guy's got 2 points. And re-sign Hermanson only if cost controlled. So we're quickly pivoting and not necessarily rebuilding, but we're definitely retooling. And the core moving forward is going to be Seider, Edvinsson, Slavkovsky, Lawrence, Raymond, Casa, Simishev, and Misa. He says that's a championship window that's just opening, not closing. We're going to have to extract some serious value from Brady Tkachuk at the deadline if we're trading him. So it is written. We have to go see what Lucas Raymond is asking for in terms of a contract here. So 29 years old, he is interested in negotiating. Our attempt at charming him has failed, so let's get right to the numbers. Raymond looking for a 6-year contract, so that's fine. It'll take us through the rest of this challenge easily, no problem there. As far as the number, it's 10.175 AAV. We're told offer 9.5 first. If he doesn't take it, we can go up to 9.75, but we do not exceed 10. Hop back in and ask him to take a little bit of a haircut. He wants a clause, but we are unwilling to do that. We're going to try and lock him in 6 years, 9.675 per season. No clauses in the contract, so that's the good thing. Raymond does indeed accept the offer, so he's locked in for the rest of this championship window. And RoboGM is clearly feeling it because we are skipping our usual checkpoint on New Year's Day, and we're heading right to trade deadline eve. We arrive at trade deadline eve where this team has finally decided they're capable of playing somewhat decent hockey. 35, 22, and 7. We are 3rd in the Atlantic currently. 7th overall in the NHL, so we are playing well. Lucas Raymond's got 54 points. He continues to lead the team in scoring. Tyne and Lawrence are right behind him there. Slavkovsky's point totals are getting better, but still just 9 goals. Tkachuk and Dorofeyev on that second line are at least producing goal totals. Misa still just 34 points centering that second line. This fourth line has been a coach's dream. McBain, Cotter, and Hermanson, almost each of them with 10 goals, almost each of them with 20 points. Dylan Larkin already down to an 82. I don't know why he felt so inclined to sign him. 18 points in 64 games, -5. Brady Martin's finally not the worst player in the NHL. That's good. Extremely disappointing season for Jacobson there. He's kind of handcuffed to Larkin at this point, I guess. That third pair, cheap bargain pair, +17, +14. Both goaltenders have been spectacular. 29, 18, and 7 for Casa. 5 shutouts, 921 save percentage, 2.6 goals against. Thank God we've got this guy. I don't know where we'd be without him. Prattle is a backup, 6-4, 923 save percentage, 234 goals against, also extremely solid. And we do get some directive on Brady Tkachuk at the trade deadline here. We're not going to shop him aggressively, but we will listen. So essentially, if a team's willing to offer a blue chip under 25, top 6 forward, or a top 4 defenseman plus a first, we'll consider it. If it's futures only or a late first, definitely not. The big question, are we good enough to win the cup this year? Maybe. Are we built better for the next 3 to 4 years? I don't know. Final directives, do not actively shop Brady Tkachuk. Just listen to see what's out there. Add depth, not stars. We go over and see if there's any trade offers for Brady Tkachuk on an open block. Unfortunately, there are none. And even browsing these trading blocks, there's really not much out there. Everyone just either doesn't really fit the bill of what he's looking for, or there's just middling players making like $10, $11 million somehow. The closest guy that would have even fit the bill, but he's not 25 or under, we got to listen to our GM, was Otto Stenberg, but unfortunately Brady Tkachuk has a no movement clause. And guess what team surprisingly is on that list? He does not want to follow in Walt's footsteps, unfortunately. So at the deadline, we are not selling, shopping Brady, moving first, or blowing up chemistry. We are, however, going to add 1 cheap depth piece potentially. If there's a speedy 4th line winger for a 3rd or a 4th, do it. Why? Because our 4th line is already fantastic. A veteran 7th E for a late pick, fine. Nashville, the first team to offer us a trade here at the deadline. We'd be sending a 2nd, a 3rd, and an AHL player. In return, the main piece we'd be getting back is Riker Lee. 85 overall, top 6 medium potential, 25 years old, not having a great season though. Not the best shot category for a sniper, but 99 offensive awareness, 91 D awareness as well. Ultimately, we're going to take this because if he fits, we'll just extend him and work him in maybe Dorofeyev's spot. And if he doesn't, we just let him walk. Thank you, Nashville. We go the rest of the trade deadline without receiving any offers. And this is what we're going with here. Riker Lee is going to get a shot on the 2nd line with Misa and Tkachuk. With the move, Hermanson now becomes a scratch. He was having a pretty solid season. season, but he is pretty much replacement level depth on this team. Our blue line actually gets jumbled up a little bit here. We're going with Edvinsson, Seider. That stays the same. But Zub jumps up and takes Simashev's spot, and instead he'll drop to the third pair to play with Liljegren. So with that, our Brady Tkachuk fate is pretty much sealed. It looks like he's going to be walking for nothing in free agency. We're also given the all clear to simulate till the end of the regular season here. Strong finish to the season post-trade deadline. We finished third in the Atlantic, which is insane because 4 teams had above 100 points in the Atlantic. That was good for 7th in the NHL, 102 points, 47, 27, and 8. Rangers took the tiebreaker and the President's Trophy with 110, and the Edmonton Oilers finishing in last place, just 69 points. Nice. Lucas Raymond led our team in scoring, 67 points. The top line actually all played pretty well. Brady led our team with 31 goals. I mean, he had what, 40 last year, I think? He's as close to an elite goal scorer as we've had throughout this whole run. Let's see our trade piece pickup, Riker Lee. How did you fit in? Everyone we pick up at the deadline fits in great. 18 games, 4 goals. I know he's a sniper, but I'll take the 12 points and plus 10. Simon Edvinsson hits 50 points again. Seider gets to 41. I think they both had less power play time this year. That was the big thing. Definitely affected the point totals. Everyone on the blue line was a positive rating except for Simashev, who was a -3. Goaltending stayed hot. Casa got into 69 games. Nice. 39 Ws, 21 Ls, 8 OTLs, 7 shutouts on the season with a .918 save percentage and 2.6 goals against. And Prattle, as always, solid as a backup, 8-7-0, 1 shutout, a .920 save percentage, 240 goals against. Austin Matthews takes the Art Ross trophy once again. I'm sure those 67 goals also get him the Rocket. They sure do. It's Hughes on the Blues, 85 points to lead all defensemen. And Nicholas Coco, I have no clue. 42 wins to lead all goaltenders for Florida. Of course, they find another stud after Bob retires. Costa's got an outside chance at taking the Vezina this season. Probably won't get it, but there's a chance. Reed Nickel, 44 points to lead all rookies in scoring. He's a member of the Canes. Wilson Moore for the Blackhawks in net, stud. 34, 23, and 6 his rookie season. 3 shutouts and a .917. 89 overall, elite medium potential. He's got this and next year under contract at 2.2. Are you kidding me? Thank God RoboGM's here every single time to tell me to take a deep breath or I would forget. Loves the fact that we finished strong, a +19 goal differential, and Costa looked a lot more like himself. Just 222 goals against. That is fantastic on the season for the team. It's going to have to be our depth that carries us through, though. Obviously, we're lacking in superstars. Says Raymond is worth that 9.675 if he produces in the playoffs. We like that Slavkovsky ended the season with 64 points, and Lawrence getting 61. He's still just 23 years old. Seider, Raymond, Lee, and Edvinsson all having positives in the progress report. Larkin declining big time, losing 15 attribute points. And we're going to draw the Florida Panthers in round 1 this year. Let's go ahead and take a look at their lineup. Verhaeghe, Barkov, Reinhart still holding strong there. Howden, Lundell, Fogle. So their top 6 really, I mean, it's good. A lot of these guys are just over the hill at this point. Podkolzin, Sharangovich, Perreault, Drouin, Sachin, and Graf on the 4th line. Forsling and Ekblad still holding it down there. Shabbat and Ball on the 2nd pair. Alsher and Vishnevsky on the 3rd. Of course, we know they probably have the Vezina winner in Nicholas Coco and net. Overall, though, I don't think there's any question, again, that we... On paper, the game's not played out. I'm not even going to say it. We're told this is not a cute matchup. This is a grown man series. Essentially what should be a conference semifinal disguised as a round 1 matchup. Goals for, they've got us big time. 3.16 to 2.94. Goals against, very close. We just edged them out. 2.71 to 2.78. Power plays, both very bad. 14.1 versus 15.3%. Our X factor is going to have to be Slavkovsky. He's had 64 points and he's built for this. If he becomes a net front demon, Florida's defense will hate life. And of course, Barkov, their X factor. He asked me the dumbest question possible at the end of this. Are we starting Casa game 1 without hesitation? Dude, no, stop. There is no discussion. Of course we are. Will we finally shake this stupid playoff curse that's been plaguing us throughout this whole run? Let's find out. Round 1, game 1. We go up 3-0 after 1. Zub, Seider, and Lawrence. Stays 3-0 after 2. We'll take it. 4-1. Jacobson and Verhaeghe score in the 3rd. And that might be the first time we've ever won a game 1 in this run. Can we keep that momentum rolling in game 2? Find ourselves down 1-0 after 1. Down 2-1 after 1. Their X factor. Barkov's got both goals. Lee scored his first playoff goal for us. Big come from behind win in the 3rd for the boys. Dorofeyev and Edvinsson. We are up 2-0 on the Florida Panthers. Please, can we take a commanding 3-0 series lead here? Starting off strong, Artem Zub again. Playoff assassin. 3-0 Liljegren as well. Brady Martin. Oh, I never talk bad about you. Indeed, we're going to hang on and take this one 4-2. Howden and Reinhart for the Panthers. Edvinsson for us. That is a 3-0 series lead. And don't you dare do the unspeakable to me? Game 4, how's this one going? Can we close it out? 1-0 after 1, Slavkovsky. 2-1 after 2, Brady Tkachuk, Jonathan Drouin for them. Oh, no. We give up 3 in the third. Howden, Ball, and Fogle. It's okay. Still a 3-1 series lead, or as the Leafs call it, the worst series lead in hockey. Game 5. Come on, boys. Down 1 after 1, Sharangovich. Down 3 after 2, Graf and Reinhardt. I can't believe this is happening. We drop game 5, 5-1. We are in trouble. Where's Robo GM when you need him, telling me to take a deep breath? Here we go. Game 6. Big early 3-0 lead for the boys in game 6. Dorofeyev, Misa, and Lawrence. 3 more in the second. We're up 6-1. Lee, Dorofeyev, and Lawrence. Thank God we do not, I repeat, do not choke this one away. We finally advance past the first round. 7-1, we take this game, knock out the Panthers in 6. Never a doubt. I was confident the whole time. And just take a look at that. Polar opposite of every other season so far in the playoffs. We get contributions from everybody. Simon Edvinsson and Juraj Slavkovsky leading the way, 6 points apiece. But I mean, we get 3 goals from each of Dorofeyev and Lawrence, another 2 from Lee. Dylan Larkin somehow with 4 points in that series. All is forgiven throughout the regular season. Lucas Raymond without a goal is a little concerning, but look at that. 4 of our defensemen scoring goals in the first round. Costa showed up in a big way as well. 2-3-3 goals against and a .918 save percentage. Robo GM just as pumped as I am to finally have a series win under our belt. We love that the big dog showed up, Edvinsson, Lawrence, etc. But the fact that we also got depth contributions from guys like McBain, Larkin, Lee, and even the bottom pairing. That's what's really going to set you apart in playoff hockey. We tell them we get Montreal in round 2. We've got the original 6 blood, no safe exits, no mercy. So far after the first round of playoffs, we've got the edge in both goals for and goals against. Power plays are pretty much even, but our penalty kill is awful at 74.1%. Again, small 6-game sample size. We're just hoping that's not our undoing. His prediction, Detroit in 6 if disciplined, Detroit in 7 if it gets emotional. Let's take a look at that Montreal lineup though. Caulfield, Suzuki, Demidov is murderer's row. Of course, they've been able to keep them all together still. Our old friend Quentin Musty, Kapanen, and Laferriere on the second line. Sawyer, Hage, and Barnes. Our other friend Braden Barnes on the third line. Still yet to really take off in the simulation. Still also just 21 years old, and me saying that's probably going to make him prime Wayne Gretzky at this point. DeBrusk, Jaeger, and Heineman on the fourth line. They've got really good depth up front, honestly. Hudson and Dobson, another murderer's row on the back end. Gooley and Reinbacher, a very solid second pair. Sandin and Moore, again, fantastic defensive depth. Jacob Fowler up to a 92 overall in net. I mean, it's elite at every position. Let's see. I'm sure it'll be a close series, but we better come out on top here. We need a deep run. Round 2, game 1, 1-1 after 1. Kapanen and Dorofeyev. 2-1 for us after 2. Timothy Liljegren. Wild third period, but we just hang on. Lee and Lawrence for us. Laferriere and Reinbacher. We take game 1, 4-3. Round 2, game 2. Down 1-0 after 1. Kapanen the lone goal. Down 3-2 after 2. It's our old pal Barnes and Suzuki for the Habs. Lawrence and Lee for us. Another insane third period, but we tie it up. It's 6s after 3. Barnes, of course, he scores again after I said his name. Laferriere and Dobson for the Habs. Larkin, Lawrence with 2, and Tkachuk, the other one for us. Lane Hudson crushes our spirits. 7-6 we fall in game 2. Series is evened at 1. Oh boy, what does game 3 have in store? It's been a wild start to this one. 1-0. Reinbacher the lone goal. Stays 1-0 after 2. Another come from behind in the third period. Cotter and Lawrence, we take this one 2-1. Game 4. Can we take the stranglehold or will it come back evened up? Raymond finally gets on the board. Edvinsson the other one. We're up 2-1. Another insane period. We score 2, but Montreal gets 4. Larkin and Tkachuk for us. Caulfield with 2. Dobson and Suzuki, the other ones for Montreal. Quentin Musty gets the game-winning goal, because of course he does. Lawrence, the other one for us. He's having a phenomenal playoffs, but this one is even at 2. Montreal takes it 6-5. Now we move into game 5, and let's see what happens here. Montreal just running away with it early. 3-0 after 1. Demidov, Gooley, and Barnes, of course. We get 1 back, but so do they. DeBrusk for them. Lawrence for us. Another ridiculous third period. We drop this one 7-4. Gooley, Demidov, and Caulfield for the Habs. Martin Slavkovsky and Martin again for us. It's a 7-4 loss though, and we are now trailing in this series. Massive game 6 upcoming here in Montreal. Down 1 after 1. Cole Caulfield. It stays 1-0 after 2, and Cole Caulfield crushes our spirits this season. Dorofeyev, the lone goal for us, but we are going to fall in 6 games in round 2 to the Montreal Canadiens. We have a hell of a playoff performance from Tynan Lawrence fresh off his big contract. 10 goals, 15 points in 12 games. Slavkovsky goes nearly point per game. He was a lot better this season. Raymond, we just need you to score a little bit more. Dorofeyev with 5 goals through 12 games. Can't complain about that. Edvinson's 9 points. Very solid as well. Riker Lee, our trade deadline acquisition, was very good in our uniform. Might have to look at keeping that guy, especially with Brady Tkachuk walking. Dylan Lark and Timothy Liljegren. We got contributions from just about everybody. Funny enough, Brady Tkachuk was probably the biggest disappointment. 5 points, just 3 goals, and a -5 rating. Sebastian Casa just didn't have it in the second round either. 897 save percentage, 335 goals against. RoboGM hits us with the hard truth here. We're not soft. We're not untalented. We're not rebuilding. We're a contender that doesn't elevate when it tightens. Sounds like a team that I'd cheer for in real life, but I can't put my finger on it. With that, year 7 is in the books of this 10-season challenge. Our core is around the ages of 28 and 32, so all still relatively in their prime. We've locked up Lawrence. We've locked up Raymond. Sider and Edvinsson are still an elite first pairing. Casa is still in his prime. He remains adamant on the fact that we are not blowing it up. We are not trading Sider or Edvinsson, and we are not making a panic decision on Casa. But what we do need is a true playoff difference maker winger or a defensive forward who changes matchup dynamics. Utah Mammoth Stanley Cup champs in 5 games over the Rangers. Bo Elliott, so I guess they got him signed. His 22 points tie both Lane Hudson and Adam Fox for the playoff lead in scoring. 2, 3, 4 in playoff scoring were defensemen. Michael Hrabel, 16, 2 and 1, 2 shutouts, a 937 and 204 GAA. What a ridiculous playoffs. Let's take a look at some hardware winners here. Obviously, Matthews gets the Rocket and the Art Ross. Another Hart Trophy for him as well. Adam Fox takes home the Norris. Matthews, Lady Being again, back-to-back. Nickel gets the Calder Trophy. Conn Smythe goes to Bo Elliott. Igor takes the Vezina, also the Jennings. Hampus Lindholm, the Masterton winner with the Jets. Pittsburgh's coach takes home the Jack Adams. And that's our first computer-generated player to take home the Selke. Melicherik on Ottawa. Matthews rounds it out with the Ted Lindsay as well. Boston win the draft lottery here, jumping from 2 to 1. Tampa jumps from 3 to 2. Edmonton goes from 1 to 3. And I believe everything else in the top 16 staying status quo there. Leon Draisaitl retiring at 36 in the simulation, which is hilarious because you got guys like Jamie Benn retiring at 42, Erik Karlsson at 42, but Draisaitl deciding to go out on top, 1,502 points, still at an 87 overall. Vasilevsky calling it quits as well, 925 games played, 522 wins. He got down to a 77 overall at 37 years old there. Boston gets Nicholas Morrow, 80 overall, elite left defenseman with the first overall pick, and it looks like the top 5 was really, it was can't miss. Everyone's at least an 80 overall, a couple elite 81s going at 4 and 5. We end up with the 24th pick, and again, there's not going to be a player there that's going to help us during our window. It's time to ask him what he wants to do with the pick. He says he's open to shopping pick 24, but we don't force it. Call around, see who's cap strapped. We are us. If someone values 24 as a first rounder emotionally, we will exploit that. And if the market's cold, we'll keep it. Now we find a player with a last name I am never going to even attempt to pronounce. Clearly being underutilized in Carolina here. 6'5", 222, 23 years old, top 6 medium potential. 7 goals, 24 assists, plus 10 in less than 9 minutes of ice time per game. Great physical stats, offensive and defense awareness, great for his age. He's just well-rounded in every category, really. Obviously not so much the shot and the skating. He is an RFA and will need to be signed, but I don't think he's going to cost that much. Looks like we can get it with Hermanson, who does not want to sign with us again, and a 5th round pick. RoboGM says he's bigger, he's younger, he's better defensively, costs $1 million. Well, I mean, that's going to have to change. But yes, let's go ahead and accept that trade right away. Didn't go through, so we change it to a 4th rounder instead, and that one is going to go through. Then we also find this defenseman, Nick Longy, 6'5", 210, 20 years old, 81 overall, top 4D, medium potential. He's still on his ELC and is a little bit raw in some of the categories, but you can see the development curve is going to be there. And he's definitely a guy that wouldn't be out of place in our lineup. Still has one more season after this on his entry-level deal at $1 million. We bring it to the attention of RoboGM, and he indeed does want to accept that one. So let's go ahead and move our first rounder. It was close to fair value, so we had to throw in one of our unsigned prospects here, and that is going to get the deal done. In his place, New Jersey drafts a top 4D medium potential. He's just further away and probably fits their window a little bit better. Now, of course, we're going to sim the rest of the draft. Let our scouts handle these picks. We've gone ahead and qualified all the restricted free agents that we currently have heading into Season 8. RFAs left to negotiate with are Brady Martin, Neuenschwander, I guess that's how we're going to pronounce that, and then just an AHL defenseman. Currently, we've got about 22 million in cap space, but we do have some big UFAs as well. Obviously, Brady Tkachuk being chief among that group. He is interested in an extension currently. 8.725 for 4 years. We'll see what RoboGM thinks about that. Dorofeyev also interested in coming back. What's his number? 3 years at 6.5. We can talk him down a little bit, I'm sure. Riker Lee, not interested in coming back. That one stings. He is a UFA, unfortunately, wants around 8 million a season. There's no way we're signing that contract. And finally, Jack McBain, interested in coming back. Let's see what his number is. Right around 2 million for a season. We pop that into ChatGPT, show them screenshots of our current cap situation. We tell him about our current class of free agents and what their asks are. Let him know that we have 4 defensemen expiring after this season. 3 of them UFAs, 1 an RFA. Priority 1, we're going to sign Brady Tkachuk. We're bringing him back. If we can get Brady Martin under $3 million, we'll sign him. Neuenschwander for 2 to 3 million a season, we'll bring him back. And we will also bring Jack McBain back. Dorofeyev, if we can get him at 5.75, we will bring him back. He understands the strategic issue of having 4 free agent defensemen next season. So the next steps, as described from our GM, sign Tkachuk 4 years, 8.7 per. Sign the rest of our free agents. Hopefully Dorofeyev's number comes in under 6. For some reason, he's still asking me. He says, do you see Dorofeyev as a core playoff driver or a replaceable scorer? I say, you have to make that call on Dorofeyev. I can't. You're the GM. Be more definitive. He's still kind of fence sitting a little bit on a lot of these calls, so I have to tell him to be more decisive and more direct. Definitively, because we are letting Lee walk, we're going to sign him around 3 years. 5.9 is our max. Hop back into game here and try and get some discounts on some of these guys. Try and get Jack McBain 1 year, 1.825. Riker Lee, we're just going to let walk. Dorofeyev, we're going to offer 3 years, 5.9, just like he said. And we have to enter a negotiation here with Brady Tkachuk. Looking for a 4-year contract. That's fine. 8.725. We're not going to get him more team friendly. I think we just have to continue with this. He will have a full no move, but he's still just 32. I think we're okay with this. Then for RFAs, Brady Martin, he said hopefully he comes in around 3. Yep, we can get him under 3 million for sure. Try 2.85 for 3 years on Brady Martin. Again, we were hoping he would come in around 3 million for Neuenschwander. Gonna try 2 years at 2.6 per. Brady Tkachuk, welcome back. So we're gonna keep him for the remainder of this challenge. Jack McBain returns as well. Dorofeyev comes back at that number, 5.9 for 3 years. So we've got him for the rest of the challenge as well, unless we decide to flip him. Brady Martin accepts under 3 million. Neuenschwander accepts as well. 2.6 is a great contract for him. Provide the good news of our returning players and our current cap situation heading into free agency. We're told there's a contract that he's watching very closely. It's Dylan Larkin, 81 overall at 4.5 million UFA after this year. 4.5 is rich for that role, no kidding. It's not catastrophic, but inefficient for a contender. He said we can shop him quietly if we get a second B-level prospect or a cheaper depth center plus a pick. I looked, there's nothing out there. 4th and 5th rounders, that's it. So we're gonna keep him for the year and then let him walk at the end of the season. Defensive UFAs after this season: Simashev, Faravari, Liljegren, and then Longy is an RFA. Simashev is our priority if the price is reasonable. Faravari depends on the role and ask. Liljegren, obviously the most expendable. We can get another guy in free agency. And then Longy, being an RFA, is at least someone that we have control over. We may preemptively move one at the deadline if we're not extending them, but he understands we are in year 2 of the final 4-year window here. So we made the decision to keep Dylan Larkin, but we've made a very puzzling choice to sign a left defenseman at $3.5 to $4 million when we only have $5 million in cap space. All our defensemen are signed, but I guess he wants insurance for next year. I mean, again, I can't question or veto, so we have to do what he says. Given the parameters of what he's looking for, there is only one player in free agency that fits his ask. That's Riker Evans, 82 overall, top 4D, 30 years old. His ask, 4.725 for 2 seasons. Let's report back and hope that we turn this down. Well, here it is. Despite having our entire defense locked in for this upcoming season, we've decided that yes, we are going to sign Riker Evans for 4.725 for 2 years. Oh boy, let's go ahead and do that. 4.725 for 2 years, just what you're asking for. We have no cap space left. And RoboGM wants to address the fans before we head into the last 3 seasons of this challenge. Let's go ahead and throw to a press conference.
Let's not pretend the last few years were good enough. We've built strong regular season teams, we've drafted well, we've developed elite talent. But in the playoffs, we haven't broken through. And that's on me. It's on our leadership group. It's on our entire organization. This next 3-year window is not about growth. It's not about patience. It's about results. We extended our core. We added stability on the back end. We made hard decisions in free agency. This group is in its prime right now. Seider, Edvinsson, Raymond, Lawrence, Tkachuk. This is the window. If we don't win with this core, that's on us. We're done chasing progress. We're chasing a cup.
Still a lot of the same things we've been hearing in every press conference. It's not about the future, not about growth, not about development. It's about results. Where the hell are the results, brother? Slavkovsky, Lawrence, Raymond on the top line. Tkachuk, Jacobson, Dorofeyev. Like that makeup, actually. Power forward, playmaker, sniper. Jacobson, of course, in a contract year, gets to play in the top 6 finally. Neuenschwander, Misa, and Martin on the third line. Of course, we are going to get stuck with Michael Misa at an 85 overall. He just hasn't developed at all for us. Nearly a $10 million cap hit as well. Emmett Finney cracks the roster. He's been in the organization this whole time, finally getting a chance. He's going with McBain and Cotter on the fourth line, getting the +1 chemistry boost. On defense, usual suspects, Edmondson and Seider locking it down on the top pair. Simashev and Longy on the second pair. I like that. Both big guys getting a +3 chemistry boost. And the third pair takes a +3 chemistry boost as well with Farivari and Evans. Cossa had a brief dip down to an 89 last year, back up to a 90. Rattle is his backup, sitting at an 81. Don't hate that. He's got 2 years left at $1 million. Which means we don't even have to touch a backup goalie until year 10 of this simulation. And of course, that means the scratches on this team. Timothy Liljegren and Dylan Larkin down to a 79. This is Tom Wilson all over again. But it's a green light special. We are simulating to American Thanksgiving for our first checkpoint. American Thanksgiving season 8 of 10. 10-8-3 is a miracle. We started off 0-4-1. I can't believe we somehow got above 500 by American Thanksgiving. Really good goal differential. Already +9, scoring 3.14 goals per game. We love to see Brady Tkachuk leading the team in scoring, 11 goals, 8 assists for 19 points. Hang on, he's actually tied with Michael Misa, the guy I said was not developing. 19 points for Misa through 21 games is fantastic, especially on that third line. He's only playing 12.53 per game. We might need to change that. Maybe we swap him and Jacobson, just drop Jacobson down a line, put Misa up on that second line. Everyone else humming along pretty good so far. Edmondson's already up to a +14 rating. Neuenschwander with 11 points through 21 games on the third line. Love that. And we're not counting on Simashev for his offensive production, but somehow he's got 10 assists through 21 games. Dorofeyev's got 8 goals in 21 games, just the 1 assist, a little concerning. All our depth guys performing pretty much where we expected. Fourth line not nearly as effective as it was last season. Goaltending thus far has been absolutely spotless. Cossa 7-6-3 with a shutout, 917 and 270. Rattle 3-2, 937 save percentage, 201 goals against. With numbers like that, it's a miracle that we've lost 8 in regulation. We provide the American Thanksgiving and thankfully again are told to take a deep breath. It's a shame he's not telling me to drink water as well. 10-8-3, third in the Atlantic, 14th in the league. Not dominant, not scary, just fine. The good is our goals per game. Offense has definitely come alive. Tkachuk and Misa at 19 points. Lawrence and Raymond at 17 each. Top 6 is definitely producing. Cost is 9-17 and 16 starts. Very legit. And Edmondson +14 already driving play. Concern is our goals against and our bottom pair. Both guys are combined -11 so far. Our depth scoring definitely falls off after the top 8-9 forwards. And a big concern, Dylan Larkin eating $4.5 million in dead cap space right now. We're not going to panic. We're not going to sell futures, but we're going to monitor Farivari and Evans closely. If that bottom pair bleeds all year, one of them becomes a deadline upgrade piece. We're going to trade Dylan Larkin officially now for anything we can get. And at deadline, we're looking for a legit shutdown right defense upgrade or a middle 6 winger who drives possession. If we're top 5 in the league by then, we buy. If we're floating around 10-14, we will make a calculated hockey trade, not a rental splash. We then check in with some of our pending free agents upcoming this season. It looks like Slavkovsky we can get back under $9 million per season for 6 years. Simashev we can probably get around $6 million for 5 years. Jacobson 2.9 for 2 years. And Longy 1.4 for 2 years. We're told sign all 4 now and then simulate up until the trade deadline. Longy 1.4 for 2 years. Jacobson 2.8 for 2 years. We offer Simashev 5.75 for 5 years. And we're going to offer Slavkovsky 8.25 over 6 years. Slavkovsky comes back on an absolute steal of a contract, 8.25. Simashev hesitant, but he does accept the contract offer. Longy's coming back as well. Same thing with Jacobson. We send Dylan Larkin to Winnipeg for a 2034 fourth and a top 9 forward. That was our best offer. And we have hit a brick wall this season. 28, 28, and 6 at trade deadline eve. 5th in the division. And we're just way out of a playoff spot at this point. We are 22nd in the NHL. 7 points back of a playoff spot currently. Just awful. Slavkovsky Pavelski and Raymond lead the team in scoring with 49 points apiece. Kachuk's definitely slowed down a little bit. Misa's been at least a little bit more productive, still holding steady at an 85 overall. Dorofeyev leads the team in goals. He's got 23, 13 assists. Longy and Simashev have formed a fantastic second pair for us. They're not going to score a ton, but at a combined plus 31, I'm not complaining. Farivari and Evans, a combined minus 18. Evans is a minus 14 on this team. Kosa's record is not pretty, 20, 24, and 6. The other numbers aren't bad though. 278 goals against, 914 save percentage. Prattle's having a great season as backup again, 8 and 4, 246 goals against, 922 save percentage. We provide the deadline update and we're told that we're going to listen. Oh my, there's the cat. We're told we're going to shop Paul Cotter. This is the funny part, for a 2024 third round pick. Brother, that was 10 years ago. Or for a 22 to 24-year-old bottom six forward. I don't think we're getting that. Farivari, we're going to listen to for a first round pick. Again, I think you're dreaming. Or a 23 to 25-year-old right defenseman, 84 plus overall, signed for 2 years. Yeah, that would be fantastic, wouldn't it? If that offer doesn't exist, he stays. We are not giving away top four stability. GM gets his wish. We do turn Paul Cotter into a third round pick. Thank you, Minnesota. We do have to call someone up, however. Eddie Genborg getting the call up. Second round pick in 2025. Pretty unspectacular, run-of-the-mill player in every category here. Go ahead and call Mr. Genborg up, and we only get the one offer on Farivari, nowhere near what he was looking for, so we're gonna hang on to him. We are, however, going to swap Riker Evans out of this lineup and put Timothy Liljegren in, our playoff hero from last year. There's the new forward lineups with Genborg in, and we simulate to the end of the season now. And would you look at this, Minnesota post-trade deadline putting Paul Cotter on waivers. Let's ask if we claim him back. RoboGM could have done the funny thing, but instead they're doing the sensible thing. We are not going to claim Paul Cotter back here. We certainly have a better finish to the season, but again, just nowhere near good enough to qualify for the playoffs. Fourth in the division, 87 points, 40, 35, and 7. Leafs ran away with the President's Trophy, 118 points, and it was the Senators finishing last with 61. Tynan Lawrence leading our team in scoring. He had 62 points. Misa with 56, again, just not, he's going to be stuck at an 85, and we're paying him nearly 10 mil. Thanks a lot, San Jose. That extension you snuck in really screwed us. Brady Tkachuk, 52 points. I wonder if he's regressed. He still did an 87 overall. Dorofeyev's 26 goals, led the team in scoring at 46 points. Not great production, but not terrible. Nunschwander and Martin were great on that third line. 30 goals combined between them. Defensively, Seider and Edvinsson both had 46 points. All pluses except for Riker Evans, the guy he was so insistent on signing. Even Timothy Liljegren comes in for 20 games post-trade deadline, has 12 points and a +8 rating. Oh, we are so cooked. Kosa goes 25, 31, and 6. 3 shutouts, a 912 save percentage, and 286 goals against average. Prattle as the backup. I mean, just amazing. 15, 5, and 1. He single-handedly almost got us into the playoffs. 909 save percentage and a 279 goals against. Now let's take a look around the league and see what happened. Matthews once again takes the Art Ross Trophy, 103 points. He's going to win the Rocket once again as well with 50 goals. Nikolai Ovechkin, I had to do a double take because I thought there's no way Ovechkin was still playing. I'm almost 100% sure I saw him retire. Nikolai Ovechkin comes in though. 48 goals to finish in second. Adam Fox leads all defensemen in points, 85. Werenski still scoring 20 plus a season. Dennis Hildeby leading the league in wins. 42 wins in 59 games. 7 shutouts as an 82 overall. Come on. Puamis Atacalio. I don't know how you pronounce that, but he leads the rookies in scoring, 62 points with the Flames. And Medvedev, an incredible season as a rookie goalie for the Rangers there, 37, 21, and 7. 8 shutouts and a 921 save percentage. Before I could even confer with RoboGM about the end of the season, he heard that the fans online are getting absolutely restless and upset with our progress, or lack thereof. He decided to go ahead and call a press conference preemptively, so let's go ahead and cut to that.
Look, I understand the frustration. Missing the playoffs with this core isn't acceptable. We didn't defend well enough, we overextended key players, and when the season tightened, we didn't execute. That's on me. But let's be clear about something. This window is not closed. Seider and Edvinsson are elite. Lawrence took another step. Slavkovsky is in his prime. Kosa is still a top-tier starter. This isn't decline, it's underachievement. We've already corrected internally. We're addressing our defensive structure, and we're going to be harder to play against next season. There are 2 years left in this push, and we're not drifting into them. We're attacking them. You don't abandon a championship core after adversity. You refine it, and you finish the job.
And after doing my part and due diligence as assistant general manager, we report back with all the standings, statistics, progress reports from the entire organization. We're told a defensive replacement is mandatory. We're going to let Farivari walk this offseason, targeting 86 to 89 overall, 26 to 30-year-old defenseman, top 4 exact or elite potential. Defensive awareness must be 88 plus for penalty kill usage. We're either going to spend in free agency to acquire or trade a first plus a mid prospect. I love the aggressiveness. This is non-negotiable. That's going to be a big add. Tighten up our defensive structure by acquiring a shutdown winger or a true checking 3C who can suppress minutes. Goaltending usage adjustment, again, that's all coach related, so he's going to handle that how he does. We want to improve our secondary scoring, so if we can move a second plus a mid prospect for a 20-goal middle 6 winger, we'll do it. Season 8 has concluded. Montreal takes the Stanley Cup in 6 games over the Avalanche. Lane Hudson leading the playoffs in scoring. He had 27 through 24 games, up to a 92 overall. Jacob Fowler getting it done, 89 overall, 16-8, 921 save percentage, 2 shutouts. Lucas Dostal sure tried to give him hell though, 923, 4 shutouts for Colorado. We'll go on and take a look at the hardware before simming to the draft. Matthews gets the Ted Lindsay, the Rocket, the Art Ross, and the Hart Trophy. Norris goes to Adam Fox again. He's won it 4 of the last 5 years. Adam Fox also going to break Matthews' back-to-back streak of Lady Beings. Atto Kallio wins the Calder Trophy, Calgary's rookie. Lane Hudson takes home the Conn Smythe. Dennis Hildeby gets the Vezina, 82 overall. That season was insane. Hildeby's also taking the Jennings. Peeper Ryan gets the Bill Masterton Trophy. Tampa's coach takes the Jack Adams. And Melicheric, we're going to look into this guy because we do need a shutdown winger or forward, whatever he is. Maybe we'll make some calls on him after back-to-back Selkies. Draft lottery results are in. We're holding at 15th overall. At least the pick will have a little more value than we're used to. We can maybe look at using that as collateral for our forward or defensive upgrade. William Nylander headlining the retirement class, 1,300 games, 1,200 points. Still an 87 overall, retiring at 37 years old. Demko headlines the retirement class in net, 729 games, 395 wins, down to a 71 overall. Yeah, I'd say it's time. Not many defensemen out there who fit his criteria of what we're looking for as a replacement for Farivari. One of the few guys that did and didn't have a clause in his contract, Alex Vlasic from Chicago here. Again, nothing to write home about offensively. 86 overall, top 4 exact. Fits the criteria by having at least 88 defensive awareness. He's also signed for the duration of this challenge, which is important at 5.775. We go ahead and offer Faravari's negotiating rights. He's leaving us anyways, and our 15th overall pick, and that trade is going to go through. And then for our checking third line center, we're going to acquire Philip Bystedt here from Minnesota. We're just acquiring his rights at this point, so we'll toss them a 5th rounder. 82 overall at 29 years old, still top 6 exact, but you can see right here why we're acquiring him. Look at the physical stats. 84 faceoffs, 84 D awareness as well, not bad. We go ahead and grab him for a 5th round pick just to secure his rights, and we couldn't really find a 20 goal scorer replacement for our 2nd round pick, so we're going to go ahead and let our scouts draft the rest of this. Going to take care of some tidy work here and get Bystedt signed. 1 year, 1.775. He accepts right away. We got him. Tell them what we gave up to get them. Also tell him we were able to sign Bystedt for 1.775. He likes the Vlasic move. We essentially turned UFA rights in the 15th overall pick to a guy that can help us right away. Philip Bystedt, he likes for depth. If he doesn't work out, we can trade him at the deadline. Arriving at the re-sign phase, we actually have very little work to do. Pretty much everybody's locked up for the duration of this challenge now. We'll definitely have to tinker with some of our bottom 6 pieces going forward. In net, we're still covered with Casa and Prattle for sure. And after sending the screenshots and giving him the organizational contract situation as a whole, asking if there's any trades he wants to make before we start, knowing that this is season at 9 of 10, we're told we should attempt to extend Riker Evans as soon as possible. This guy absolutely loves Riker Evans. Explore a Dorofeyev trade quietly if we can upgrade there. Add 1 cheap bottom 6 shooter. Otherwise, we're ready to advance to the preseason. Unfortunately, all that's out there for Dorofeyev is futures, so we're not going to explore a trade right now. Gavin McKenna headlines the free agency class. UFA at 25 years old. Franchise medium potential. 93 overall. He's had 1 breakout season so far with the Rangers. He's asking 16,725, a little out of our price range. Look at the names available this offseason. There's Melicheric, the guy who's won back-to-back Selkies for Ottawa, 90 overall, power forward, center, right wing. 95 D awareness, 87 faceoffs, 91 shot blocking, 93 stick checking. That'll do it. Oh yeah, plus 97 body checking, 98 aggressiveness. We're told to add a bottom 6 shooter, so we're going to sort this by shot category. Then we're going to look to see the first one of these guys that's a 2-way forward. Nikolai Ovechkin, of course, that would be nice. Bo Horvat is an interesting interesting one. 84 overall. I know he's 38 years old. He's still got a phenomenal shot, 89 D awareness, 89 faceoffs, 88 offensive awareness. For 1 year at 2.575, I think we're going to do it. Obviously, I'm going to have to confer with RoboGM first. RoboGM's actually going to veto the signing of Bo Horvat here, so unfortunately, we can't get it done. And before we simulate to American Thanksgiving, we are throwing to another press conference here.
Last year hurt. There's no hiding from that. When you build a team this strong and don't finish the job, it stays with you all summer. This season isn't about panic moves or headlines. It's about execution. Our core is in its prime. Seider, Edvinsson, Raymond, Slavkovsky, Kassa, and we believe in that group. We added depth where it made sense, and we kept our flexibility for when it matters most. Are we going to be aggressive when the moment calls for it? Absolutely. But we're not chasing noise. We're building toward April. Our expectation is simple: contend. Not just qualify, contend.
Yeah, dude, whatever. These narratives are starting to fall on deaf ears at this point. We're going to simulate to American Thanksgiving for our first checkpoint, though. Season 9 of 10 underway. Of course, before we do officially start the simulation, we've got to check in on how the lines are looking. Slavkovsky, Lawrence, Raymond, nothing changes there. I think Lawrence was always at an 89. I can't remember. Kachuk down to an 86 with Jacobson and Dorofeev. Jacobson up a little bit since last year. Neuenschwander, Misa, and Martin. Michael Misa absolutely killed this simulation, and it's not necessarily his fault. Partially it's mine. I didn't realize that there was a 7-year extension that kicked him when we acquired him. Still a very solid third line, but almost $10 million for your third line center is going to kill every team. Finney, Bystedt, and Genborg. Genborg came up last year after the trade deadline, played 20 games for us, 5 goals, 7 points, +4, not bad. Would have liked to have Bo Horvat on there, but that's another story. On defense, it's the usual Edvinsson and Seider, Simishev and Longy forming the second pair again, and finally Alex Vlasic, who we just acquired on the third pair with Riker Evans, who we must extend right away. Kassa and Prattle in net. Kassa stays steady at a 90. Prattle up to an 82 overall. He is in the last year of that contract. It's really not hyperbole at this point. This is literally do or die and our most important season so far. Let's check in at American Thanksgiving. And we've arrived at American Thanksgiving check-in, our second last season. The stakes have never been higher, but the boys aren't playing like it. 10, 10, and 1. We are still third in the division technically. Tampa's played 4 less games than us though. Brady Kachuk off to a decent start. 7 goals, 11 assists. But how about Pavel Dorofeev with 14 goals in 21 games? Just 2 assists. The guy's going for the Cy Young this year. His setup man, Jacobson, 15 points in 21 games. Raymond's been probably the biggest disappointment of this simulation so far. He had a 76-point season for us, but otherwise, I mean, for a 90 overall, you got to be closer to point per game regularly. And that 46-point season is just unacceptable. Slavkovsky, again, another guy just not getting it done. 9 points through 21 games. Again, now that contract's starting to look like a boat anchor, and we can't get out from under it either. Defensively, we've been okay. It's actually that top pair that's bleeding. They're a combined -15, believe it or not. Everyone else is plus on the team. I said we didn't get Vlasic for his point production, and there's proof of it right there. 21 games, no points, +6. In net, Koss is not having the greatest start. 8, 7, and 1. 905 save percentage, 299 goals against average. Radel, his backup, 2 and 3 with a 918 save percentage, 261 goals against. We check in with RoboGM, who tells us to take a deep breath. Dude, if you keep telling me that, I'm going to snap. We're 10, 10, and 1, third in the division, middle of the league. It's not disaster territory, but it's absolutely not contender territory either. The good, Dorofeev, 14 goals in 21 games. Jacobson and Lawrence are driving play. Prattle in limited action has been excellent, 918 save percentage, and the offense at 2.9 goals per game is respectable. The red flag, goals against, once again, 62 in 21 games. Seider is a -9. Slavkovsky just 3 goals. Vlasic has 0 points, he says, which is fine, but he's not suppressing enough to move the needle. Somehow, we are not ready to panic, but we are going to have a New Year's check-in, which we haven't had in years past, so that's good. And if by New Year's, Kassa is still around a 905, Slavkovsky hasn't heated up, and our goals against is still trending high, we're going to shop for another legitimate shutdown defenseman this side on the right side, or a veteran goalie insurance policy. So with that being said, it's time to take us to New Year's Day and see where we're at. The answer is better, but very marginally so. 19, 17, and 1. We're 4th in the division, tied with the Leafs. Just 5 points back of Florida in 1st. I mean, just a point back of Tampa in 2nd. That's a 21st overall team in the NHL, though, so far. Lucas Raymond definitely heard me complaining and picked up his pace. He now leads the team in scoring with 31 points through 37 games. Dorofeev increases his team lead in goals to 20. Lawrence having a much better season, goal-scoring-wise, at least, with 15 goals through 37 games. It's our top 6 guys minus Slavkovsky. I don't think he's scored since our last check-in, which is crazy. 3 goals through 37 games. Dude, you are a 90 overall. You have 89 offensive awareness, and you have nearly a full 5-star shot category. You gotta pick it up. Michael Misa still absolutely sewering us here. 11 points through 37 games, minus 14. He's just occupying a spot at this point. Edvinsson and Seider have definitely picked it up a little bit. They've reduced their minus ratings big time, but now it's gone the other way for our other pairs, and they're sneaking back closer to even, if not minus ratings at this point. Koss has definitely improved his record, 17, 12, and 1. He's got 2 shutouts, a 909 save percentage, and a 285 goals against. And Pradel's definitely taken a step back, 2 and 5 record, 904 save percentage, 288 goals against average. Provide him with the screenshots, and again, we're hit with a deep breath. I really need to start putting it in the prompt, not to say that. And I also don't know why it's pissing me off now. Probably because we've had no success. 19, 17, and 1, 4th in the Atlantic, 21st in the league, a 1 goal differential. The good Raymond driving play, Dorofeyev 20 goals, Lawrence, Tkachuk, and Jacobson all pacing fine. Koss is at a 909, 285, perfectly playable with injuries off. Defense is bleeding, and too many high event games is the problem. Seider -4, Misa -14, Slavkovsky 3 goals on 90 shots, 3.3% shooting. We are going to advance to the trade deadline, let our sample size grow, see where we are, and see what's available. We arrive at trade deadline eve on absolute wagon. First place in the division now, 36, 22, and 5, 77 points. A 3rd place team in the NHL currently. Lucas Raymond still leading the team in points with 59. Dorofeyev still leading in goals with 27. Tynan Lawrence having a fantastic season for us. Brady Tkachuk's been adequate enough. Edvinsson and Seider have absolutely carried this team lately. You can see that. Plus 21 now for Edvinsson, plus 16 for Seider. Slavkovsky's finally regained his goal scoring touch a little bit. He's up to 12 at 7.2% shooting. Still just awful. And then we come down to our greatest disappointment, Michael Misa. Just 23 points and a -14 rating for $10 million. 4th line's actually really picked it up. Emmett Finney's up to 19 points. Genborg and Bystedt also both doing pretty well now. Our bottom 2 pairings have stabilized a little bit. Simashev the only minus defender now. And in net, Koss is up to 29, 16, and 5. 3 shutouts with a 915 save percentage. 267 goals against. Pradel 7, 6, and 1. 900 on the dot save percentage. 316 goals against. Little high. What's the one thing you think I forgot in my prompts? Yeah. All right. Deep breath. We're 1st in the Atlantic, 3rd in the entire league with a plus 24 goal differential. The boys are rocking. This is not a should we buy situation. This is a how aggressive do we get situation. Says our offense is definitely contender level. 3.19 goals per game. Top 6 humming power play producing. Defense is good, but we don't think it's playoff good. Top pair is strong. 2nd pair is serviceable. Bottom pair of Vlasic and Evans is where the series swing. So we're going to target a true playoff caliber top 4 right D. That's what Vlasic was supposed to be for us. 84 to 87 overall, defensive minded, rental or 2-year deal max. We got to look on the block to see if there are any top 4 defensemen available here. Provide him with a list of names if there are any, and see what we can cook up. No defenseman on the block who matches criteria, unfortunately. The closest, believe it or not, was Jacob Chikrin, who's got 2 years left at $10.23 million. It's like teams don't want to give away their good right-handed defenseman. That's so weird. So instead, we're going to go to the league leaders in plus minus and see if we can find a guy who might have relatively low trade value. Right away, we zero in on a division rival who's got a guy plus 27, Tom Willander with the Leafs, 1842 a night, making 7.7 a year, which is steep. We can make it work, however. 91 D awareness for him. We can do Longy and our 1st round pick for Willander. Longy's obviously got this year and next year at 1.4. He's fantastic value, but there's no question we'd be upgrading on that 2nd pair. I just got to bring this to the attention of my GM and see what he says. Ultimately, and probably rightfully so, we get told we are not making this trade, only because it's going to remove flexibility for next year's push. I mean, we might not make the playoffs next year, to be fair. Instead, we're going to simulate to the end of the season and hope that we are in a playoff spot. Thankfully, there was no major collapse. We finished 1st in the division. 99 points, 45, 28, and 9. That was good for 7th overall in the NHL. It was the St. Louis Blues grabbing the President's Trophy with 108 points, and the Buffalo Sabres having a brutal season, finishing with 58. Tynan Lawrence ended up leading this team in scoring. He had 66 points. Dorofeyev really cooled off in the back half of the season, 32 goals. Slavkovsky just 15 goals on the season, shot 6.9%. Nice. Oh my goodness, what could have been Michael Misa? You absolutely sewered us. 35 points, minus 13 rating. On the blue line, Edvinsson and Seider both hit 50 points. Both were at least plus 20. Riker Evans got up to 19 points for him. Hopefully we can extend him in the offseason. And in net, Sebastian Cossa was spectacular. spectacular 37, 20, and 8. 5 shutouts with a 918 save percentage, 255 goals against average. First season that Pradel really struggled as a backup, he finished 8-8-2, had a 326 goals against average and an 897 save percentage. It was Quinn Hughes who wasn't good enough for us to sign, but St. Louis got him. He got the Art Ross trophy, 98 points. Matthews still managed to capture the Rocket with 57 goals. Obviously, that means Hughes led all defensemen in scoring as well. Werenski nearly potting 30 at 36 years old. Still a 93 overall. How about Cale Makar down to an 84 with Nashville? Still putting up 22 goals. Vinny and Hrabal both put up 41 wins. They tie for the goaltender lead there. As far as rookie skaters go, it was a pretty sad year. Thomas Forsberg and Quinn Olsen both tie with 34 points apiece. Raimo Numanen for Washington in net won 31 games, 2 shutouts, a 906 save percentage, and 307 goals against. We provide the end of season report, and first things first, 45, 28, and 9, 99 points, Atlantic Division champions. The good is pretty much the same as always. We had balanced scoring in the top 6. Edvinsson and Seider both driving offense from the back end, and Casa was solid in net. The red flags are what they usually are also. We bled defense. Gave up 255 goals, and the secondary scoring falls off a cliff. That's probably because you never want to go out and look for an offensive defenseman. I'm not taking responsibility for that one. That's on you. Now we just wait to see who we draw in the first round of the playoffs. And in round 1, we drew the Washington Capitals. Look at the numbers on the right side of the screen. You can clearly see they were the better offensive team throughout the regular season. We were the vastly superior defensive team, believe it or not. Power play is literally separated by 1/10 of a percentage point, and the penalty kill, hardly any difference there at all. Leading scorer Connor McMichael versus ours, Tynan Lawrence. And we take a look at their lineup real quick here. They've got McMichael, Casper, and Ryan Leonard on the top line. Solid, but not game-breaking. Honzik, Englund, and Marco Rossi on the second line. Top 6 is very solid. Ilya Protash, Eklund, Zilkin, Lakovic, Boisvert, and Parsonen. Definitely tails off a little bit in the bottom 6 there. On defense, it's Red Wings legend Mikey Anderson along with Cole Hudson, Terrio, and Gainey. Another Red Wings legend there, Ryan Lindgren and Germain on the third pair. Blue line's just awful. In net, it's Numanen and Rimpinen, so we've clearly got the edge on defense and in net. RoboGM says goaltending is not even close. We have the clear, definitive edge. Casa is in fact the best player in this series. Well, he's going to have to be. Edvinsson and Seider, especially with that +3 chemistry boost, is going to be fantastic. Easily better than anyone Washington's got right now. Going to take rolling all 4 lines to win this series. Casa is going to have to be the difference, and we're definitely going to have to take advantage of that third pair of Washington every time they're on the ice. RoboGM predicts a Red Wings series win in 6. Let's see if that comes to fruition. Round 1, game 1. Can we shake these playoff demons that have been cursing us throughout this entire run? Scoreless after the first period. 1-1 after the 2. Englund and Kachuk trade power play goals. And of course, Washington blows us out in the third period. They take this one 5-2. In an all too familiar spot, trailing in the playoffs. Can we rebound in game 2? We do early at least. Misa and Jacobson and take a 2-0 lead. But again, we just blow that right away. 3-2 for Washington after 2. And they take game 2 6-3. This is just unbelievable. Down 2-0 in the series and now heading to Washington, fighting for our lives here. 4-0 Washington after the first period. Our team has no interest in playing these games, clearly. 5-1 after 2. And yep, we dropped this one 6-3 and are trailing 3-0 in the second last chance we have in this entire challenge. If there was ever a true do or die, this feels like it has to be it. 1-1 after 1, trailing 2-1 after 2, and we are swept in the first round at the hand of the vastly inferior on paper Washington Capitals. Seider and Kachuk showed up, that's for sure. 5 assists for Seider in that 4-game series. 3 goals for Brady Kachuk. And then it's really just the same issue that's been plaguing us the whole time in the playoffs. None of our stars show up. Edvinsson, just 1 assist, -3. Slavkovsky, Tynan Lawrence, and Dorofeyev, 1 assist each and big minus ratings. It's just terrible. Casa couldn't stop a beach ball though. 454 goals against average and an 871 save percentage is atrocious. We tell our GM just plain and simple, deliver the bad news. We got swept. He says, all right. He doesn't tell me to take a deep breath. That's how we know things are serious. No calm GM voice. No will evaluate internally. We just got swept and this is the last year of the challenge. That changes everything. It's not about tweaking or patience or development. It's all in or bust. Has been pretty much this entire episode. The new mandate is we are going nuclear. Not reckless, not stupid, but ruthless. Who is untouchable? It's Seider, Edvinsson, and Casa. That's it. Everyone else, if they can bring us a true playoff game breaker, we listen. Yes, yes, even Slavkovsky. Well, too bad. He's got a no movement clause. Even Lawrence. And yes, even Raymond. Again, too bad he's got no move. If someone brings us a top 5 league center or an elite playoff winger, we do it. It's a little too late for this, but what we actually need is a true number 1 center that sims like a demon in the playoffs, a 95 plus overall winger with X factor dominance. That'd be fantastic. Or a 91 to 93 overall two-way playoff defenseman to shorten games. So the strategy this offseason is going to be to shop a major name, package picks and young depth, move long-term money if needed, retain salary if it gets us the right piece, and sacrifice the future because there is no future. It's one season. That is correct. If we fail next year, that's the end of the story. So we either go out swinging with a loaded war machine or we accept that this group caps out in round 1. And then he proposes to me the question, now tell me, are you ready to shake the league? Because if we're doing this, we're doing it loud. I say I was born ready. Now tell me specifically who to shop. He replies, good, because this is the summer we either become villains or become trivia. No half measures. Tier 1, he says Uri Slavkovsky. Obviously, he has a no move. We can't shop him. Next up, we've got Lucas Raymond. Not driving playoff success. He says he's an elite regular season winger. He is not a takeover player in the sim. He also says we're carrying almost $10 million on an 85 overall center, Michael Misa, who isn't moving the needle. So it sounds like Raymond is the guy that we're going to shop here. Shop him for a true number 1 center upgrade, 92 plus overall, or a 93 to 95 overall power winger who sims like a monster, or a legitimate elite goaltender if you decide to flip Casa. Again, not my decision. Ask me to tell him if there are any 92 plus centers on the block or elite wingers with size and playoff production. Yes, I'm sure teams are lining up to give those guys away. He then goes on to say about Michael Misa, 85 overall at nearly $10 million. That's an anchor. Been saying it the whole time. If we can move him without attaching a first, we do it yesterday. Cap relief from that deal changes everything. In terms of Dorofeyev, he says a 32 goal winger is great value at 5.9. I agree. If we're moving him, it clears cap or sweetens a Misa dump or upgrades a top line spot. So the strategy is to shop Misa aggressively. Only pull the trigger once we know who we're signing in free agency. We don't jump without a landing zone, which is the smart and sensible thing to do. We gotta wait to see what's out there before we make an official call here. However, before we get to any of those important decisions, we gotta wrap up season 9 of 10 here. The Utah Mammoth defeat the Columbus Blue Jackets, who we just should have assumed control over. RoboGM tried to tell us he wanted to take control over Columbus at the start of this, but Utah wins it in 7 games over Columbus. Landon DuPont is going to lead the entire playoffs in scoring 27 points. Guy's up to a 95 overall now, still medium franchise potential at 25 years old. $13.5 million for the next 4 years, yet we couldn't have signed Quinn Hughes. That could have changed the whole trajectory of this franchise. Dovish is the Stanley Cup winning goaltender for the Utah Mammoth, 16-4-5, 4 shutouts in the playoffs, a 929 save percentage, and 221 goals against. Time to look at the hardware from season 9 of 10. Matthews obviously took the Rocket. Quinn Hughes, the Art Ross, again, could have changed our whole trajectory here. Quinn Hughes also wins the Hart, and the Norris, and the Lady Being. Calder goes to Olsen on Calgary. Landon DuPont, the Conn Smythe winner. Columbus goalie Gardner wins the Vezina, also the Jennings. Pipparainen doubles down on the Masterton. He's become the new Ryan Graves. Jennings, Edmonton's coach, is going to take the Jack Adams. Selke goes to Joseph on Philadelphia, and Macklin Celebrini is the Ted Lindsay winner. Draft lottery results are in. Vancouver jumps from 6 to 1. Carolina goes from 3 to 2. Buffalo from 1 down to 3. Seattle 2 to 4. Vancouver picking twice in the top 5. So on and so forth. The draft doesn't really matter for this year, especially for us. It's going to be a good top 5 again, and then of course not much available outside of that in the first round. I think if I redid this challenge, I would have to assume control of the scouts and be able to make the draft selections, because we had no prospects in the pipeline this entire time. David Pasternak headlining the class of retirees this year. Pasternak 1,522 points in 1,494 games. Still an 85 overall at 38 years old, but a very strong retirement class nonetheless here. Barkov, Rantanen, Kachuk, Aho, Point, and special shout out to Dylan Larkin, Coachella Firebirds legend, down to a 73 overall at 37 years old. Aiden Hill is the top dog amongst retiring goalies, 485 games played, 229 wins. We arrived at the draft and we shop Misa aggressively like we were asked to do. How fitting is it that San Jose wants him back, willing to offer us the 30th overall pick in this draft, which we can use as further ammunition here. Misa also down to an 84 overall, now making $10 million a season. We're told, yes, do it, no hesitation. We'll use the 30th overall as a trade chip and weaponize that cap space. Thanks for nothing, Michael. We're to bring to his attention that we can get very aggressive and shop Lucas Raymond along with 2 first-round picks. For Artem Zharkov from St. Louis, we would have to get him under contract, but we're clearing nearly $10 million in Raymond as well. Coming off an 88-point season plus 32, playmaking center with stats us in all the right categories here. In addition, we'd try and acquire Len Ferrelli, first overall pick from 2031. Coming off a 54-point season, will also need a contract. But again, you look at the stats and they are just fantastic. With that, we are met with yes, let's make the trade, pull the trigger, get it done. Raymond and 2 first-round picks for the rights to Zharkov and Ferrelli. Trade does go through. A big get for us there. I tell him they accepted. Do you want to do anything with our later picks or let our scouts decide? Our directive is to package 2 to 3 later picks to move up into the late second, early third round and try and acquire a player in this archetype that he's listed here. An NHL ready 22 to 24-year-old top 9 forward, a physical 84 to 86 overall right defenseman, or a defensively responsible 3C with 85 plus faceoffs. What better team to trade with than the St. Louis Blues? We just did a deal with them, so now we try 4, 5, 6, 7 round picks for their 42nd overall. They're gonna jump all over that and help us out again. And as far as defensively responsible 3 center that we're looking for with faceoffs and defensive awareness, we've got Landon Reshny here from Nashville, 85 faceoffs, 88 D awareness, great puck skills as well. All that with 89 offensive awareness too. We'll send the screenshot and see what he thinks. We're told yes, we are accepting it, and here's why. It's about the fit and cap efficiency. Reshny is signed for $1.85 million and plays a true two-way game. Wins draws, blocks shots, skates well enough, and doesn't need power play time to be effective. 2 seconds and a third for Reshny. Does it go through? Yes. Pretty sure we only have 1 pick left in this draft. We're gonna let our scouts draft it at 111. We arrive at the re-sign phase where it's gonna be tough to get Zharkov done here. 26 years old. He is a UFA. Not interested in an extension, so what's the number gonna be? Right now, it's 18.35 million over 8 years. We're pretty much gonna have to do it. Really just gonna be more about what we can talk him down to. He's still got very good interest in a contract around 16.5, which yes is a lot of money, but we can afford it. We've got 31 million in cap space currently. Len Ferrelli not currently interested in a contract. He's 90 overall, 21 years old. We've got his rights. We qualified him as an RFA. Not overly concerned about that contract getting done. Same thing with Neuenschwander, not interested in a contract right now, but he is an RFA. We qualified him at 2.6. We'll have to see what he thinks about re-signing our depth. Riker Evans not interested in a contract, thank God. We're actually looking okay without Riker Evans right now because we've got Morozov here. Ilya Morozov, 79 overall, low elite potential right defenseman. Horrible skating, but one of the few finds that we got from our scouts in this whole challenge. I'm sure we don't want him playing, especially because of that skating category, but a 7th round pick in 2029, we finally hit on somebody. In net, we did sign Michael Pradel. He was asking for $850,000, so that was just a no-brainer to bring him back. We tell him we've arrived at the re-sign phase, and this is our current contract situation with players' overall ratings. Zharkov will have to pony up around 16 million to sign. The others I've sent qualifying offers to as RFAs, and I'm waiting for their number to come down. However, Zharkov is the pressing issue because he's a UFA in 7 days, and we'll lose him for nothing if we don't sign him. We brought back Pradel at 850,000 for 1 year as our backup because it's under league minimum in terms of value. On the blue line, we've got our top 5 guys signed, and we'll just need to fill 1 spot. Riker Evans does not want to return. He's currently asking 5.25 million over 3 years. We have Ilya Morozov internally, but he's got awful skating stats. If you want, I can send you a screenshot of his stats and you can make the final call if we go with him or not. If not, we could always go bargain hunting in free agency for our 6th defenseman. He says Zharkov, there is no debate. Overpaying for a franchise 1C in his prime is survivable. Losing him for nothing ends the window immediately. Lock him in now. You heard the man. Let's get this done. Try and get that number as low as possible. First offer we'll send his way is 15.7 million. He accepts right away, so that's great. Next, we're told Riker Evans we're just gonna let walk. Not spending that money on a 6th defenseman who doesn't want to be here. Thank God he's finally come to his senses on Riker Evans. For our 6th defenseman, we're gonna go cheap and flexible. He says if Morozov skating is bad, like sub 82 speed and excel, which very much it is, we don't force it. Slow defensemen get exposed in playoff sim engines. So here's the directive. Short-term bargain UFA, 1 to 2 years max, 1 mil to 2.5 mil range. Defensive defenseman archetype with good skating and awareness. This is a placeholder spot, so we don't tie up any money there. Says Zharkov at 16 million will hurt, but Sider is still manageable. Slavkovsky's locked in at 8.25. Same with Kachuk at 8.725. And a bunch of these guys are still on RFA control. We let him know we have 15.8 million in cap space remaining. Still need to sign Ferrelli and Neuenschwander. Those two might command close to that total, so we'll have to be smart about our 4th line. Right now, Bystedt is asking 2.025 million for 1 year. Genborg is asking 1.65 for 2 years. And Finney does not want to come back and is asking over $2 million. You want to sign any of these guys or let them walk? He says the decisions are to let Finney walk. Over $2 million for a fourth liner? Absolutely not. Bystedt, it's close, but we're going to let him walk as well. Genborg at 1.65 is the only one he would consider signing. I'll send him a screenshot of his ratings to make sure he's actually on board with that. Ultimately, the money's going to go to our skill and top 9 guys, especially Ferrelli and Neuschwander. We need to get those guys locked up first. We just got to pray an offer sheet doesn't come in for either one of them, really. So we let Bystedt walk. We let Finney walk. Eddie Genborg, 21 points for us last year, plus 10 in 8 minutes, 40 seconds average time on ice. Nothing flashy in terms of his offensive stats. Puck skills, senses, and shooting, really nothing to write home about. But in terms of a bottom 6 winger, his D awareness at 84 is okay. Stick checking at 90, blocking shots at 88. Skating stats, again, nothing to write home about, but the physical category is incredible. 99 aggressiveness, 90 body checking, 90 strength as well. We send the screenshots with all the ratings, and what we get back is this. Legitimate fourth line wrecking ball, not a skill guy, not driving offense, but he can kill penalties, he hits, he blocks shots, he doesn't take stupid penalties, and he can survive defensively. And because we probably wouldn't find better value on the free agent market, his call is to sign Genborg. We'll try and save every dollar we can, offer him 1.5 for 2 years, which he does accept, thankfully. Which means we'll be heading into free agency with $15.4 million. We gotta sign Neuschwander and Ferrelli, and then just one more player. It's not 2, it's actually only one more fourth liner. I think we're gonna be able to get this done, no problem. And when I say get this done, I mean get these guys signed, not, you know, win the whole thing. That would be fantastic, but who knows? And free agency opens up. You can see down there we've got $15.4 million in cap space. Ivan Demidov, top dog this year in free agency, 7 years, 15.6 is the ask. Obviously, we've got Ferrelli there asking 1 year, $11.3 million. We just have to pray that we don't get offer sheeted. We've also got Neuschwander down there looking for 1 year at $4.3 million. That's actually not bad, but again, we're hoping the longer we wait into free agency, the more that number comes down. So that's exactly what we tell him. $15.4 million in cap space as free agency arrives. Currently, Ferrelli asking $11+ million for 1 year. Neuschwander asking $4+ million with term. We still need a fourth liner and 6 defensemen. Send me the types of players you want for both roles, and I'll provide some options while we wait for the 2 asks to come down. And again, we're hit with the goddamn deep breath. We're not panic paying anyone on day one. If Ferrelli wants 11+ for 1 year and Neuschwander wants 4+ with term right now, that's early market inflation. We wait. RFAs cool off once the music stops. So here's what he wants while we let those numbers simmer. The fourth liner profile, option A, 82 to 84 overall, high defensive awareness, 85+, 88+ speed, or 90+ physical, 900K to 1.3. I'm hoping there's someone who fits that mold, but not overly optimistic. He wants either a fast forechecker or a face-off capable 4C. What he doesn't want is a 79 overall, top 9 F low, asking 1.8 million, or a 30+-year-old 81 overall with bad skating. For the 6 defensemen, we're looking for an 81 to 83 overall, 85+ skating, 84+ D awareness, 1.2 to 2.5 million max, someone who can play 15 to 17 minutes, survive playoff speed, and not tank our pair chemistry. His reality check is we have 15.4 million. We can assume Ferrelli settles around 9 to 9.5, Neuschwander settles around 3 to 3.5. That's between 12 and 13 million, leaving us 2 to 3 million total for a fourth liner and a 6th defenseman. So we've got to do some research here for the best available right or left defenseman in the 81 to 83 range, and their ask, a fast PK forward under 2 million, and we're just ignoring that third ask because we won't have cap space and there's just no point. So we sent our GM a bunch of screenshots of each guy's ask that fit that mold in the fourth line PK specialist. This is what we came back with. Sachin here asking 1.175 for 2 years, 80 overall, 29 years old, two-way forward. There's the stats so you guys can take a look at them. Next up was Noah Cates, 1 year, 1.425, 81 overall, 35 years old, two-way forward. There you have his ratings now at 35 years old. Wahlberg up next, 1 year, 1.375, 80 overall, 28 years old, power forward. Good skating and good physical stats. Just an offensive black hole, though. Finally, we've got Dean Letourneau, 1.8 for 1 year, 80 overall, 28 years old, power forward. The only one of these guys who had an X factor. Obviously, the skating's not great, but at this point, we'll take what we can get for the fourth line. Letourneau was the first option eliminated here. 80 skating on a fourth line win now year. No way we're doing that. Wahlberg, he eliminates as well. Solid power forward, but nothing elite defensively. More fine than needle mover. Noah Cates also gets eliminated here. Veteran option, 79 speed at 35 years old. We are not doing that. The winner is Mr. Sachin here. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his first name. 93 acceleration, 93 speed, 85 faceoffs, 81 D awareness, and 85 stick check. He's cheap. He's in his prime right now. That skating on the fourth line in a playoff series, that's a momentum shifter. He can pressure, kill penalties, and not get caved in. We're going to go ahead and sign him right now. 2 years doesn't matter to us, so 1.175. Let's get this done right away. Thankfully, it gets done right away. There's our bargain pickup in the bottom 6. We sent screenshots for defensemen available in terms of what he was looking for, and what we come back with is this. First up, Victor Johansson, under $1 million for 2 years, 80 overall, 28 years old, two-way defenseman. Another guy who's not going to blow you away offensively, but in terms of stability on that third pair, he can provide that. Skating category is fantastic. D awareness at an 83 is a little bit low. At least the shot blocking and stick checking make up for it, I guess. Next up here is Wallenius, 2.05 for 3 years, probably out of our price range, 80 overall, 28 years old. Look at the ratings for that price. I really don't think he becomes a viable option here, but we'll see. Spencer Gill, 1.275 for 1 year, 80 overall, 27 years old. This one just really fell in the price range, had a decent physical category. I don't imagine he's going to be the guy we're targeting. Finally, it's Hallquist here, 850,000 for 1 year, 80 overall, 27 years old. Probably one of the more well-rounded options that we have here, but let's see who RoboGM wants. He's all of a sudden changed his mind on the forward, but it's too late. We already signed the other one. In terms of defenseman, he wants Victor Johansson, 91 acceleration, 91 speed, 83 D awareness, and 89 stick checking for under $1 million. Says that's insane value for a 6th defenseman. He can recover if he gets caught, and in the simulation, speed matters a ton. This guy just can't make up his mind. First, he said he didn't want Letourneau, then he said he did. Victor Johansson accepts he's going to be our 6th defenseman, and we advanced well into free agency here, and Neuenschwander's actually going to accept our qualifying offer. So he's coming back at 2.6 million. Pirelli's ask has already dropped all the way down to 7.3. We're going to keep waiting and see if that drops even more, give ourselves some deadline flexibility. And we're not going to play with fire here. Pirelli's ask at 90 overall has come down to 5.9 for 1 year. Remember, this is a do or die season. We don't care about the term on this contract. We just care about the price. Let's offer him 5.6 for 1 year and be done with it. Pirelli accepts, and we've got some cap space to play with, and we're ready to head to training camp. We head into our most important training camp yet, and this is how the coach is deploying our lineup. Pirelli, Zharkov, and Lawrence on the top line. We are loading up. Slavkovsky, Jacobson up to an 87, playing with Dorofeyev on the right wing. Brady Tkachuk at an 86, playing with Brady Martin, and Neuenschwander on that third line. A miserable line to play against. And finally, we go Sachin, Reshny, and Genborg on that fourth line. On defense, it's Edvinsson and Seider. Seider starting to regress a little bit. We hope that he doesn't regress too much during the season. Simishev and Longue, who have been a pair for the last 2 or 3 seasons. Finally, Johansson and Vlasic getting a +2 on that third pair. In net, it's the tandem we've had pretty much this whole episode. Casa stays steady at a 90 overall. Prattle remains at an 82. Scratches for this team are Alex Bump, a free agent we signed to fill out our AHL roster, and Ilya Morozov, who did not crack the lineup. That skating is just not going to cut it for us, unfortunately. We send screenshots of the lineup as we arrive to training camp, show him who the current scratches are, tell him we have 9.2 million in cap space still. Do we advance, or is there a move he'd like to make before the season starts? He says we don't make a move right now. The top line is elite with a 93 and 290 overalls on it. Second line has size and scoring. Third line is heavy and playoff built. Fourth line is fast, cheap, and serviceable. Our defense is incredibly balanced to start the year. Casa is at a 90 overall in a do or die year. There's no glaring hole that screams panic spend $9.2 million. He says that 9.2 is a weapon at the deadline if a 91 plus overall winger becomes available, a true 2C upgrade becomes available, or an impact right defenseman hits the market. The only tweak he'd consider is rotating Morozov in early if Johansson struggles, and keeping the fourth line on a short leash performance-wise. We're not even having an American Thanksgiving check-in here on Season 10. I think that is crazy, but I love it. What we are doing, however, before we start simulating in our last do-or-die season, the stakes have never been higher, is throwing to a press conference.
Look, we've been close. That's the truth. We've built a contender. We've had elite regular seasons, but we haven't finished. And in this league, close doesn't matter. Over the last few years, we've grown this core into something real. Seider and Edvinsson are in their prime. Zharkov is a top-tier center. Slavkovsky, Forelli, Lawrence. This is a mature, battle-tested group. We're not learning how to win anymore. We're expected to. Our shortcoming hasn't been talent. It's been execution in the biggest moments. Tight games, special teams, Discipline. That's the focus this year. This isn't about hype, it's about urgency. We've kept flexibility, we've built depth, and we believe in this room. Expect a team that plays faster, harder, and more direct. And when the moment comes, we won't hesitate to make the move that puts us over the top. It's time.
We arrive 40 games into our last season in this challenge. 26, 12, and 2 is good for second in the Atlantic currently. That's a third overall team in the NHL. Washington is just running away with this right now. Zharkov currently leading this team in points. He was a fantastic signing. That whole top line has been fantastic. At least plus 25 ratings for each of them. Secondary scoring isn't quite where we'd want it to be, but it's certainly not holding us back at this point. Maybe the biggest disappointment has been Jacobson on that second line center spot. 14 points through 40 games. Defensively, again, we're not shooting the lights out, but the guys are all positive plus minus ratings. They're winning their minutes, and that's all we can ask at this point. Our strength continues to be goaltending. Sebastian Costa, 16, 9, and 2. One shutout, a 916 save percentage, 258 goals against. Michael Prattle as his backup, gotten into 16 games so far. 11, 4, and 0. Two shutouts, a 924 save percentage, 230 goals against. We provide the 40 game update, and we are told to take a deep breath again. We're 26, 12, and 2, 54 points in 40 games, third in the entire NHL with a positive 27 goal differential. This is not a team that needs a panic move. However, this is our last opportunity. The call is we hold for now. Offense is humming along at a great level. Goaltending definitely playoff caliber, and we have no clear weak link right now. The only soft spot the GM sees is a bottom pair mobility defenseman and maybe a heavier depth winger for a playoff grind, but that is a playoff adjustment, not a January overreaction. So we are going to hold pat until trade deadline eve and see where this team sits. Arriving at trade deadline eve, this team has kept up their stellar play, still second in the division, 2 points behind the division leader Buffalo Sabres, slipped a little bit in the overall standings. We're down to a 5th place team in the NHL. But how about the East? The top 7 of 8 teams are from the Eastern Conference. Make that top 8 of 9. Artem Zharkov, thank God we made this move, still leading this team in scoring, 62 points plus 36. That whole top line still clicking phenomenally. Secondary scoring has dried up a ton, which is a concern. But I mean, I have a feeling we're going to make a move to address that at some point by the deadline. Defensively, again, we're a very sound defensive team. Look at those plus minus ratings. Lowest plus minus rating is a plus 10 so far. Through 60 games, you can't complain about that. Goaltending is definitely where we continue to excel. Sebastian Costa, 41 games, 24, 13, and 3. 3 shutouts, a 919 save percentage, and 2.5 goals against. Prattle continuing to have a career season for us as the backup, 24 games, 14, 8, and 0. 2 shutouts, a 925 save percentage, and 2.23 goals against. We provide the pre-trade deadline update, and we're told we're 37, 20, and 3, 5th in the league, plus 43 goal differential. Top line is humming along, Costa's steady, and the pairings are all positive. As far as our strengths go, Zharkov at 62 points in 60 games, legit 1C production. Varelli and Lawrence are driving play. Edvinsson and Seider are staying steady. Secondary scoring is fine, but not dominant, and our goaltending tandem is definitely a strength of this team. For our weak spots, our 2C/3C depth is good, but not matchup proof in playoff series. Longy at 82 overall in the second pair is playable, but not cup run scary. Bottom 6 is steady, but not physical or annoying enough for a 7-game grind, and we have $9 million in cap space, which we don't save. We're going to weaponize that. What he would do at the trade deadline is land an 87 to 90 overall right defenseman, defensive or two-way, strong in D awareness and physical play. We'll slide him next to Simashev and let Longy become our third right D. Option B is add a legit second line center, 88 to 90 overall, good at faceoffs, two-way profile, expiring deal. After that, we'd move Jacobson to our third line center, and suddenly our center depth becomes a problem for other teams. So we are going to scour the trade market for anyone who fits that profile, hopefully provide some names. Let's see what comes back. Option A is higher than option B. We're going to acquire Tom Willander here, who we tried to acquire last year. 2 first-round picks and a starter unsigned medium potential goalie. Willander's got term left on that contract. He'll fit perfectly on that second pair. Go ahead and accept that deal. First-round picks mean nothing to us here. Kind of disappointing that no other trade opportunities came about, but I did kind of find it cheap to send out first-round picks like 3 or 4 or 5 years down the road, especially because we're in our last season do or die. Drew the line at sending picks 2 years out. Told our GM about the move we made at the deadline. He says we did not just come out to play this year. We pushed the chips all in. We added Tom Williams Willander, 92 D awareness, 84 stick checking, 92 offensive awareness for a two-way guy. 30 years old, the term and contract doesn't matter. What it costs, 2 first and a young goalie. In a normal year, risky. In a do or die final run, perfectly aligned with the mission here. It solidifies our core for the playoffs. Edvinsson, Seider, Simashev, Willander, Johansson, and Vlasic. I asked him for clarity whether he wants Johansson or Longy at that 3 LD spot. We get a brief breakdown of each guy's performance thus far in the season, but finally the call is made. We're starting Johansson over Longy. Bless his heart, he's asking if we're dressing 11 forwards and 7 defensemen. If only that was an option in game. I can't wait for that to be a feature though. So this is what we're running with going forward. This is our last ditch roster here. There's no more moves to be made. Pirelli, Zharkov, and Lawrence have to carry the offensive load. There's no other option. We can't really rely on the second line of Slavkovsky, Jacobson, Dorofeyev. Kachuk, Martin, and Neuschwander should be very annoying for teams in the playoffs as a matchup line. And Sachin, Resny, Genborg have been great as a 4th line for us. On defense, we've got Edvinsson, Seider, of course, Simashev, and now we add Willander to that second line, and we round things out with Johansson and Vlasic. Obviously, Casa and Pradel go in net for us, and now we simulate to the end of the regular season. So we arrive at the end of regular season 10. Last kick at the can here. 52, 25, and 5. By far the best performance we've had so far. 109 points, still behind the Buffalo Sabres for first in the division. Surprisingly, still behind 3 teams for the President's Trophy. Philadelphia gets it with 112 points. The Carolina Hurricanes finish in last with 65. I'm also pretty sure this is the highest point output we've had by any player so far, sadly. 86 points for Zharkov, a plus 47 rating. That first line was just fantastic. Again, secondary scoring kind of dried up. Dorofeyev still had 24 goals. We'll take that. Willander came over and had 10 points in 22 games, a plus 6 rating for us. That's fine. He saw his ice time reduced by nearly 3 minutes per game, but I think we're a little bit more stacked on defense than Toronto was. Brady Tkachuk at 35 years old, not a great season, but he is relegated to the 3rd line at this point. 18 goals, 38 points. He was still a plus 11, and that 3rd line is miserable to play against. Landon Reshny, our 4th line center that we traded for, what a season. 12 goals, 22 assists for 34 points and a plus 4 rating. Guy played only 11 minutes per game. Defensively, you see exactly what you want to see. Guys putting up respectable point totals, but every single defenseman with a positive plus-minus rating. We were looking for one, and we finally found it. Seider, 69 penalty minutes, nice. Sebastian Casa ends the season 36, 17, and 5. 3 shutouts, a 921 save percentage, 244 goals against average. Guy's just a workhorse. Pradel had his best season as a backup by far, 17 and 9. 2 shutouts, a 927 save percentage, and 215 goals against. Take a look around the league here. Of course, it's Austin Matthews winning the Art Ross Trophy, 95 points. Also going to take the Rocket with 50 goals. Zharkov was close though, man. 43 and 43. What a season. Lane Hudson, leading defenseman in scoring, 83 points. Adam Fox still getting it done at 37 years old, 78 points. But what about Zach Werenski, a simulation god? 37 years old. He puts up 30 goals, 39 assists. That is 69 points, and that is nice. The guy is still an 88 overall. Wilson Moore. Washington keeps finding these goalies. I don't know how. 48, 22, and 3. 4 shutouts, a 924 save percentage, 247 goals against. When it comes to rookie skaters, Kimmo Noranen in Buffalo, 48 points, led the entire class. He was also a plus 38, which is insane. 87 overall, elite medium, two-way forward. Nothing even worth mentioning as far as rookie goalies this season. So in season 10, we're going to draw the team that killed our best chance of winning so far, the Montreal Canadiens in round 1. Surely they're still not as deep as they were when they took us out. Carter Bear, Red Wings legend, cast aside. Here he is on the Montreal Canadiens top line with Suzuki and Kapanen, Samoskevich, Geeky, and they've still got Barnes. Of course they do. Aram, Olsen, Forndrick, Laferriere, Asha, Jaeger, and Reshevsky. All right, so they're okay. Nothing to write home about, but they're a solid all-around team. Lane Hudson, might as well just hand him the Stanley Cup right now. Still a 92 overall here. He's paired with Caden Gooley, Ferraro and Reinbacher, the second pair, Weston and Schmaltz, the third. We've clearly got the edge on defense and still forward, I guess. When it comes to goalies, they've got Fowler and Sogard, so technically we still have the edge here. We got a breakdown of how we finished the regular season here. 52, 25, and 5. 109 points, second in the Atlantic, top 5 in the NHL. A stacked NHL this year, by the way. We were first in goals against in the entire league. Finally, this team did not bleed in terms of defense and goaltending. 262 goals for, that's 3.2 per game. Only 195 against, 2.38 per game is fantastic, by the way. Jarkov had 86 points and was a plus 47. Legit franchise centerpiece. Pirelli and Lawrence both had 71 points. Slavkovsky 52, still very disappointing, but we'll take it. Seider 49 points. Casa had a 921 save percentage and a 244 in 60 starts. Prattle as the backup was fantastic, gave us some valuable points as well. He says this is the most balanced version of this team that we've iced in this challenge. 4 lines that can play, 3 D pairs with chemistry and elite goaltending. The only thing missing now is proof, of course. I'm also going to blame him on this. We should have been way more aggressive way earlier in this challenge, but if it gets done now, all is forgiven. Round 1 against Montreal. We outscore them like crazy. We're slightly better defensively than them, much better on the power play. The 5th overall team versus the 28th overall team. Penalty kill relatively even. The real threat here is going to be Lane Hudson. Jacob Fowler in net, of course. Other than that, we seem to have the edge almost everywhere. There's no time like the present. Let's just see how we sim in the playoffs. Year 10. Round 1, Game 1 in Season 10, do or die. 1-1 after 1, Pirelli for us, Basha for them. We're up 2-1 after 2, Victor Johansson, and we hang on to take this one 3-2. Dorofeyev for us, Suzuki for them. Game 2, can we grab a stranglehold on this series? Down 2-1 after 1, Geeky and Barnes, of course, for them. Classic for us. Barnes and Bear with 2, of course, because of the memes. Slavkovsky and Johansson for us. Hang on a second, we tie it in the 3rd, Edvinsson and Seider. But of course, Carter Bear sinks us in overtime, tied at 1 after 2. We move to Game 3 in the 1st round, tied at 1. 3-2 after the 1st period. I hate how offensively inclined this is. Pirelli with 2, Reshny with the other for us. Suzuki with 2 for them. Remains 3-2 after 2. And of course, we blow this one in the 3rd period, which is what we've done. That's our whole brand. Basha and Jagger for them. Montreal takes a 2-1 series lead into Game 4, where it's tied after 1. Kachuk for us, Ferraro for them. Tied at 2 after 2. Vlasic for us, Fondrick for them. We do take Game 4. Simashev with the game winner in the 3rd period. This series is tied at 2, and there's a glimmer of hope here. 2-2 after 1. Suzuki and Jagger for them. Slavkovsky and Zharkov for us. 4-4 after 2. My heart can't take this. Jagger and Barnes, of course, for them. Pirelli and Lawrence for us. I can't do it. Just 5-5 after 3. Pirelli for us. Suzuki for them. I can't believe we pulled this one out in overtime. Genborg in overtime. We take a 3-2 series lead heading into Game 6, where we promptly fall behind 2-0. Suzuki and Geeky for them, but we tie it in the 2nd. Jacobson and Willander. 3-3 after 3. Lawrence for us. Schmaltz for them. Oh my god, I can't do it. Olsen scores the game winner in overtime. This series is tied at 3. This is where legends are made. Come on, boys. Up 3-1 in Game 7 after 1. Dorofeyev, Slavkovsky, and Pirelli. Laferriere for them. Up 4-1 after 2. Martin scores, and we close this series out. Moritz Seider and Brady Kachuk score in the 3rd. Thank God. We hang on to beat Montreal in 7 games in round 1, and we had contributions from everyone, unlike every season before this. Pirelli led the way, 6 goals and 2 assists through 7 games. Talk about bargain bin signings. Victor Johansson, 2 goals and a +7 rating through those 7 games. Slavkovsky finally performing in the playoffs for us, point per game, and we haven't even got good goaltending yet, so just wait. Sebastian Casa, 4 wins, 1 loss, 2 overtime losses. That's 3 losses if you're keeping track. 898 save percentage, 3.57 goals against. Not good. At least we advanced. That's all that matters. Our GM splits the response into 2 here. Part 1 is the hockey take. We went into round 1 against a 92 overall Lane Hudson and still found a way. That's character. Pirelli acting like a superstar. 6 goals in 7 games. Dorofeyev, Slavkovsky, and Jacobson all at between 7 and 8 points per game. Our depth definitely showed up. We even had Vlasic chip in offensively. That's how you win a Stanley Cup. Let's go. well. We won a tight and stressful, ugly series for sure. And that's exactly how championship teams are forged in this mode. We got to watch Casa closely in the next round. If he heats up even slightly, we could be very dangerous. We got to send him the next round matchup here, which is going to be the Columbus Blue Jackets. And we keep getting trolled by the ghost of Detroit Red Wings past. Quentin Musty on their first line with Hagens and Johnson. Cable, Fantilli, and Poitras on the second line. Nordmark, Sillinger, and McGregor on the third line. Klepov, Moore, and Eberle on the fourth line. Not the Eberle you're thinking of. Pretty deep forward group, to be honest here. Zach Werenski is going to torch us. There's no way he doesn't. He's paired with Matejchuk on the first pair. Lindstein and Atchison on the second pair. Wallenius, who we debated signing this offseason, and Roberts on the third pair. Brady Nowling, the starting goalie. He was fantastic in the first round for them. We send our GM screenshots of the Columbus Blue Jackets roster and how we match up through the first round. He tells us he really likes this matchup for us. We're putting up 4.14 goals per game, which is insane. Pirelli, Dorofeyev, Slavkovsky, Jacobson all producing. Columbus, meanwhile, sitting at 2.29 goals for per game. So on paper, we are clearing them offensively nearly double. We know the concern about talking about on paper. We are still allowing 3.71 goals per game, and our power play has not scored yet. 0%. The key is going to be simple here. Attack their second and third pair, get traffic on their goaltender, and tighten things up defensively. If Casa can stay just a little bit sharper and we get just average power play production, this should be ours in 6, he says. Very winnable series, but only if we play controlled, not chaotic. So how do we play here? Round 2, game 1. Down 2-0. After 1, Hagens and Fantilli. 3-0 after 2. Werenski scores, of course. A miraculous third period, we tie this at 3. Genborg, Zharkov, and Forelli. A miracle comeback. Moritz Seider in overtime. We take game 1. Let's ride that emotion into game 2, boys. 2-2 after 1. Neuenschwander and Forelli. Nordmark and Sillinger for Columbus. 3-2 Columbus after 2. It's Poitras, but we tie it in the third again. Jacobson. How about another miracle here? Come on, boys. Kent Johnson in overtime. Series evened at 1. Game 3, there's never been more at stake than right now. 2-0 after the first. Zharkov and Tkachuk. 2-0 after 2. We got this. Come on, boys. Game ends 3-0. Forelli adds the insurance marker. And we move on to game 4, up 2-1 in the series. Go up 1-0 courtesy of Brady Tkachuk. 3-0 Dorofeyev and Forelli. We close this one out 5-2. Zharkov and Tkachuk in the third for us. Sillinger and Kabel for them. We've got a 3-1 stranglehold on this series. Please, can we just close it out? Get to the conference finals for the first time. 1-1 after 1. Forelli and Musty, of course. 3-1 Columbus. Fantilli and Johnson. Another miraculous comeback. Tkachuk and Jacobson in the third. But Werenski, again, sinks our ship. 3-2 series lead heading into game 6. We fall behind 1-0 in the first. Tie it up after 2. Zharkov. Werenski, again, of course. And we are heading to game 7, where we jump out to a 2-0 lead. Neuenschwander and Zharkov. 3-0 lead after 2. Slavkovsky adds 1. We close the series out in 7 games. Jacobson, thank God. For the first time in this challenge, we are heading to the conference finals. And through 2 rounds, it's much of the same. Forelli is absolutely carrying us right now. The best value contract in the NHL, no question. 11 goals, 16 points through 14 games. Moritz Seider with 12 points through 14 games. Again, we're just getting contributions from everyone for the first time in this entire simulation. Still no minus players through 2 rounds, which is fantastic. Nobody's costing us. Sebastian Casa, 8-2-4. 4 overtime losses in 2 rounds is insane. 2 shutouts, a 916 save percentage, and 280 goals against. Our third round matchup is against the New Jersey Devils. We're slightly ahead of the Devils in terms of goals for per game. 3.714 per us, 3.554 per them. They're a much better defensive team so far. 2.64 goals against per game, 2.93 for us. The GM says this series is about our offense versus their structure. We are the more explosive team right now, and they are slightly tighter defensively. Seider and Edvinsson gonna have to have a big series to let us win here. Again, no time like the present. Do we advance to the Stanley Cup final? Conference finals for the first time in this challenge in our last season. This is cinema. 1-1 after 1. Neuenschwander and Stahlberg. 4-3 after 2. Heischer, Hellenius, and Forrester for them. Zharkov and Dorofeyev for us. New Jersey takes game 1, 7-4. Game 2, New Jersey's only lost 3 times so far, by the way. 1-0 us after 1. Zharkov the lone goal. We go up 2-0 after 2. It's Lawrence. And close this one out with a shutout. 2-0 in game 2. Heading to game 3. Series tied at 1. Scoreless after 1. We're up 2-0 after 2. Slavkovsky and Jacobson. Another shutout. Lawrence gets the insurance marker. We're up 2-1 in this series. We head to game 4 up 2-1 in this series and take a 1-0 lead into the first intermission. Genborg with the lone goal. Stays 1-0 after 2. Edstrom ties it in the third. We're heading to overtime, where Ferrelli closes it out. We are up 3-1 in this series. Can we close it out and go to the cup final here? Up 2-0 after 1. Fantastic start. Zharkov and Edvinsson. 2-0 after 2. Boys, no collapse here. No collapse indeed. Slavkovsky, Ferrelli, Slavkovsky again. We take this one 5-1 and close out the Devils here. We are Stanley Cup bound in year 10 of 10. Tell me this isn't cinema. Drop a like, comment, and subscribe right now. RoboGM says in 5, that's not we survive. That's we arrive. Guys got bars. Conference finals, first time in the challenge, and you shut the door in 5. That's a statement run. No more game 7 heart attacks, just business. I mean, to be fair, there were a few game 7 heart attacks. Now it's real. Stanley Cup final, do or die, legacy series. Pirelli is cooking, Casa steady, core is in its prime. This is exactly the arc you've been building towards. We've been building towards, buddy. Come on. Send the stats and the matchup when you've got them. I want to see who's standing between you and the Stanley Cup. We take a look at the Sharks lineup here, and they're definitely spoiled for talent. Eklund, Celebrini, and Smith as the top line. Penkin, Kaleta, and Bolduc as the second. Tails off a little bit in the bottom 6. Chernyshov, Lamans, and Poltapov. Michael Misa on the 4th line, making $10 million, of course. I swear to God, if he sinks us. He's with Diorio and Boucher, paired with Keaton Veroff, Cam Reed and Dravecki on the second pair, Butchinger and Siratsky on the third pair, and they've got the 90 overall Yaroslav Oskarov in net. Our GM says Stanley Cup final, do or die year, and it's the Sharks waiting. San Jose is not a feel-good story. Nightmare first line. Celebrini sitting at 21 points currently in the playoffs. He's driving everything. Their blue line is fantastic. Of course, they've got former Red Wings Sandin Pellikka and Veroff as the top pair, and you know he would love nothing more than to stick it to his former team. Michael Misa, former Red Wing as well. Former Red Wing disappointment. That's cinema. We're gonna roll 4 lines and hope for the best. Casa, 12, 3, and 4 so far throughout the playoffs. 922 save percentage, 249 goals against. He might be our MVP so far. San Jose's got the slight edge on special teams, but this is what this is all about. Stanley Cup Finals, year 10 of 10. Let's see what happens, boys. Come on. Cup Finals, game 1. We're up 2-1 after 1. Ferrelli and Lawrence. Bolduc for the Sharks. Stays 2-1 after 2. Sandin Pellikka, of course, ties it in the third. And Bolduc wins it in overtime. Sharks take a 1-0 series lead in the cup final. Oh boy, let's hope we rebound in game 2 here. 2-2 after 1. Martin and Slavkovsky for us. Celebrini and Dravecki for them. 3-2 for the Sharks. After 2, it's Boucher. And the Sharks take it 4-3, take a commanding 2-0 series lead. Gonna take a miracle here to come back from this one. Let's see if we have it in us in game 3. Scoreless after 1. We're up 2-0 after 2. Sider and Kachuk, and we take game 3 courtesy of a Zharkov insurance marker here in the third. Sharks are up 2-1. Can we come back and tie this one up here? Scoreless after 1. Sharks up 2-1. After 2. Sandin Pellikka, of course, and Lamans. Lawrence for us. We tie it up in the third, though, with a Zharkov goal. But Will Smith closes this one out in overtime. We are trailing 3-1 in the Stanley Cup final against a team we have a ton of history with. Game 5. Obviously, every game from here on out, do or die. We're up 1-0 after 1. Reshny with a lone goal. Up 3-2 after 2. Sider and Ferrelli. Misa and Smith for the Sharks. 4-4 after regulation. Sachin for us, Smith and Kaleta for them. Here we go. No goals after the first overtime. What does overtime 2 have in store? Jacobson closes this one out. We stay alive. We head to game 6 in this series. 2-2 after 1. Kachuk and Ferrelli for us. Ferrelli, the greatest playoffs of all time. Sandin Pellikka, of course, he has to stick it to us with Dravecki, the other goal. 4-2 us after 2. Slavkovsky and Martin. 5-5. The Sharks get 3 in the third. Ferrelli gets our lone goal. Chernyshov gets 2 for them. Bolduc the other. Overtime. Game 6. Will Smith, the Stanley Cup winning goal. A Game 6 loss in overtime at that. It almost doesn't get any closer than that in our do-or-die season. 7 games against Montreal, 7 games against Columbus, 5 to take out New Jersey. If we had just scored in that overtime, who knows what happens in Game 7. Artem Zharkov led the team in scoring 28 points. The one year we finally get playoff contributions from everybody, and we come up just that short. Even our deadline pickup, Willander, 1 goal, 9 assists, 25 games. That's still good production from the back end. We had Casa put up a 267 goals against and a 916 save percentage. That was definitely good enough to get it done. Ultimately, it's probably going to be Celebrini or Will Smith getting the Conn Smythe trophy here. Celebrini tied Zharkov for the playoff lead in scoring overall. And of course, Michael Misa, our favorite castaway, Stanley Cup champion. He contributed big time for the Sharks. 7 points in 23 games, but he'll always be called a champion now. Sandin Pellikka as well, 16 points in 23 games. He was fantastic. Askarov just that much better than Casa, 251 goals against, 919 save percentage. As far as individual hardware goes in Season 10, Matthews obviously took the Rocket and the Art Ross. Zharkov, our big trade acquisition, the Hart Trophy winner. Lane Hudson gets a Norris. Matthews, the lady being. Norrinen on Buffalo takes home the Calder. Celebrini gets the Conn Smythe. Silver lining, at least it wasn't Sandin Pellikka or Misa that popped off. Moore on Washington, the Vezina winner. Casa gets the Jennings. Atchison, the Bill Masterton. Nashville's coach takes home the Jack Adams. Melcherik, his 3rd Selke in 4 seasons for Ottawa. And Zharkov gets the Ted Lindsay as well. We sent our GM screenshots of each game result in the Stanley Cup final, the player stats from our team and San Jose. To which he replies,
"You're right, 10 seasons, 1 mandate, and we didn't finish it. We climbed the mountain, missed playoffs, retooled, dead cap battles, tough trades, big swings, and this was the year. Conference finals breakthrough, finals appearance, a roster in its prime, and when it mattered most, we didn't close. That's on me. The numbers say we were good enough. The core showed up. Zharkov at 28 points, Forelli 26, Casa steady, but banners don't go up for good enough. They go up for the last team standing, and that wasn't us. And seeing Sandin Pellikka and Misa on the other side when the cup was handed out, that's the kind of detail that sticks with you. No excuses, no next year, just the truth. We built a contender. We didn't build a champion. And in this challenge, that's the difference."
10 seasons, no Stanley Cups. We made some bold trades. We certainly had at least one good chance to get it done. But in this game, chances don't matter, only results. After 10 seasons, the Robo GM just failed, plain and simple. It was cup or bust, and we certainly busted. That's all for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching these 2 episodes. Again, if you enjoy them, I ask that you leave a comment down below, hit that like button, and subscribe to the channel for more content. Drop any AI NHL challenges you want to see down in the comments below, and we'll see you guys next time.